Ooh, what's happening, guys? Welcome to another edition of Pro Wrestle Times live show. Yeah. Okay, I guess the audience, that's a real studio audience, folks. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Phil Marks. Starting off rough already, guys. As people file in, 25 of you in here. Make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the subscribe. This is the 20th episode, the 20th edition of PWT Live Show. It's crazy. You know, I love it. I'm just getting more comfortable throwing the mic on, chatting you guys up. Let me chat you up, Eric. And yeah, you know, I'm excited for this Dynamite, I guess, to see what the we're going to watch Dynamite and we're going to check out the aftermath of Double or Nothing, I guess. And yeah, we'll be back doing this show Wednesdays again on the weekends with I like that format. On the weekends where there's like a WWE and an AEW show, I'll do the weekend back-to-backs or whatever I got to do. You know what I mean? Because that's the way to do it. But tonight we're going to watch Dynamite. And as you can tell by the title and the reason I'm on a little bit early, I was going to just record this as an episode of PWT Podcast. Yeah. But that will drop on Friday morning. But I decided, nah, I'm just going to come on a little early and I'm going to go over this NXT. That was just absolutely phenomenal. But we're going to do that in a moment. First, what I need to do as everybody's filing in and hitting that like button, correct? We're hitting that like as we go. I got to shout out the Tribal Chiefs. So the Tribal Chiefs, these are across Patreon, across YouTube. You can become a member below. You could join the Jobber tier, the Superstar tier, or the Tribal Chief tier. You get shouted out on the live shows and the podcasts. And just keep your ear peeled and tune into all the shows for that. So Scully Vibes is Andre Adams, the God King Bob, Gilgamesh, LK Sask Prophet, Peter JT, Chris Benoit, Jamie Earhart, Cruz Madrid, Derek Hance, Liam McBlain, Eric Galperin, and Ninja Boy. Yeah, you guys all get a yeah as our Tribal Chiefs acknowledge you. I acknowledge you as Tribal Chiefs. And yeah, if you guys want that Tribal Chief tier, you get shouted out on the show. As far as the Patreon goes, guys, so what's going to happen is I'm going to do stuff on there that I won't get copyright stricken for on YouTube. And it's not going to be just like me uploading the pod where you can download it. The pod's already everywhere. The live show's already everywhere. So I figure what I'm going to do is I have lots of ideas. I don't want to just stooge them out so that people, you know, steal them, because that happens, believe it or not, in the content world. But yeah, so if you're not on the Patreon, you guys will see what I got going on there, and I encourage you to sign up, even though you'll notice like there's not been much done there. And it's because I've been formulating and planning, and about once a week there's going to be something on Patreon that just can't go on YouTube because the overlords and Don Stevens would axe your boy Phil for doing it on there. So if you're not on the Patreon, go and check that out for sure, because in the next coming month, I'd give me like a couple weeks to a month, you know, and then you'll start seeing once a week there will be Patreon stuff. Also, members only shows are coming as well, which I want to do once a week. I want to do members only, where you guys can kind of vote on what I talk about and what I do. And then the show will be sort of focused around what you guys choose that I do over on the YouTube member side of it, and then the Patreon side of it will be sort of what I choose to do, and without getting copyright stricken. Make sure you guys all hit that like. Obviously, I'm babbling, trying to let you all file in. We have Gilgamesh, a member for 2 months now, best podcast in the IWC. Yeah. So yeah, before we get into Dynamite, so I'm gonna have to run off and turn the show. I didn't pull it up here. Wooings. Hey Phil, just came a member of the Clips. Thank you so much, everybody in the chat. You see your member chats. We try to show the member chats all on the screen. There's 50 of you in here. Great turnout. thus far. And I know as Dynamite commences, many more will hop in. So please hit that like button. 50 of you in here. We can get it up to 40 likes. No, we can get it up to 40 likes, right? Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about Raw a little bit. Guys, I'm gonna have to run off when Dynamite starts to grab my I don't got my stuff turned on over here. So here, I just want to pull up the right thing. Okay, boom. Okay, so Raw, basically what went down, we had the aftermath of the King and Queen of the Ring. We know that, Gunther's going to get a title shot. We had Braun Strowman came back, however, whatever. He wrestled JD McDonough on the show. And that was solid, whatever. We have more, basically, they're positioning. I've been saying it forever. Liv Morgan, Carlito, they're going to replace Rhea and Damian in the Judgment Day. I've said it a bunch of times here, and that's what I feel is happening, or that whole group will just simply fall apart. Sorry, adjusting my mic. And so we had Braun Breaker. He interfered in Ricochet versus Dragunov, whatever. Not whatever is good stuff, but we got Cross. He's fucking with Xavier, cussing already so early. Gonna have to edit that out. Editing, Phil. And then the Authors of Pain one. Sheamus fights Ludwig. They're intensifying that. The reason I'm skimming through all of this is because there's two important things we need to get to. So basically, we had Ray and Carlito, two vets, threw down. They haven't wrestled in 20 years. Chad Gable, he's doing great character work. We're seeing like the dissension and the deception in the Alpha Academy, if you will. And this is starting to split up as well. We're going to see what happens. People are saying, oh, Jake Hager, which we're going to talk about. There's like an AEW exodus of talent going on. And if you guys listen to PWT podcast and you guys listen to PWT live show, then Connor Hassler's been on here. And I know he's kind of random and you guys haven't really been fully introduced to him but he's just hopped in and hung out with me for a few hours a couple times. And he's a cool dude. And he works in like production and stuff. And he works with wrestling. Like, he knows a lot of wrestlers. He knows a lot of indie talent, especially. But he has some insight on indie stuff. That's why I bring him on the show. Anybody who comes on the show, they add value to the show. They add value to you guys blessing me with your time listening to me babbling. And us babbling. So basically he said, there's going to be an AEW talent like exodus, if you will, is the word I use. And we're seeing it. So we're going to cover it in a bit. But Jake Hager, I think he could come in and be the new heater for Gable. No, or is that too? He's a former world champion. That because they can't just bring him in as like a top guy. I just don't see Hager in that position anymore. And I don't think people would really care too much. So Hager versus Otis and like Hager being Gable's new guy. I don't know. That's my X-Files. I don't know if you guys like that or not, but that's the truth is out there. So basically though, we had a steel cage match and it was pretty good. And Liv Morgan defends the title, as I'm sure we all figured she would. And then Becky Lynch, that was sort of her moment of her contract's coming up, guys. And the rumors are, Rebecca Quinn to AEW confirmed. That's not ever going to happen. Sorry to play spoiler, your boy Phil Marks. If I'm right about anything, I'm telling you guys right now, I'm right about this. I was right about the MJF shit like a year ago. You know what I mean? Everybody's talking about it now. So what Becky's going to do, she's never going to leave WWE. She's going to maybe take her contract over to Tony Khan and AEW and say, look, this is what they're offering me. Tony will go, well, I'll give you this much money. It'll be great. It'll be so great. And then she'll just bring it back over to WWE and go, look, he'll give me this much. He'll match everything you're doing. Give me less dates and give me this much. Just give me this much. And then I'll sign right. And then they'll do it. You know what I mean? So yeah, she might levy or do a little tease or whatever, but she just needs a break. And she was supposed to take a break, but Rhea got hurt. And, the dirt sheets weren't entirely wrong on that, that Becky was, because they all said it, Becky's taking a break. And, And she tweeted out like, "Oh yeah, I'm taking a break. Really, I'm the champion." But it is because Rhea got hurt, so she is taking her little bit of a break. Let her hang out with her family. Let the storylines progress. How do we miss you if you don't go away? And they're gonna keep people talking about her, and they're gonna keep the intrigue and the excitement. And when she does come back, it'll be awesome, and we can laugh at people melting down in the meantime about about her signing elsewhere, which isn't going to happen. And then people are saying TNA that she's too big of a star, right? So I'm not saying we won't ever maybe see her in the crowd, especially now with the TNA working relationship, which we're going to get into. But Becky Lynch is, I think I have some Phil Marks bookmarks here to look at with you guys in regards to this. So let's take a gander into Phil Marks bookmarks. Jamon. I think I had something about, we got a lot in here. So so Chris Jericho Hogan, he's talking to TMZ Sports, and he has something to say about Becky Lynch possibly joining AEW. And Jericho Hogan says, "Here guys, who's with me? Hit that like button, and let's get on the Perry pack in Minecraft here. Okay, I gotta spark one up in Minecraft. That is a fire, of course. We're trying to stay warm." Lighter's died on me. So Jericho Hogan discusses the possibility that Becky Lynch could join AEW, and he says, 5 years ago, Becky would have no other options. Let me tell you. I'm telling you, she'd have no other options. I'm not saying that she is coming per se, but there is an option. And who knows? Who knows what could happen? It could be huge. It could be huge. No one thought that Jericho, no one thought that I would come to AEW, not Vince McMahon, not Crooked Hillary, not Sleepy Joe. no, no one thought that Moxley would come, or Bryan Danielson, or Adam Cole. He's huge. He's huge. China. Or any of these guys that have come over. So it's exciting for the fans. It's exciting for the wrestlers, the talent, because now suddenly if there's a bidding war, that just benefits us. So I think it's very important. She's not going there, guys, okay? Jericho's talking out of his ass. She ain't going there. It ain't happening. So I might have some more on that. Sorry, guys. It's been a minute since I broke out the Jera Trump. Oops, I'm not trying to copy that link. I'm trying to unbookmark that. I think I have one more on that. I could be wrong. Sorry, guys. It's there's a lot. I'm paying for the blue check. I keep saying it and I don't do it, but I got to do it to stay organized for the show, and that's what I'm going to do. So and then here's Dom kissing. This is when Raw went off the air too. So this is what I mean, right? This is all part of the Raw review here / the news, the hot news, as Conan would say. Conan, where is it? Can't find it. Here we go. Soundboard, dummy. Conan. So, here's them kissing, right? Like it's game over. Mommy's gonna get on that ass. No Diddy. And Dom, dude, like his for shoot wife is just a babe. He's got Liv and Rhea, the two babinest babes, fighting over him. Look how he's like reluctantly like, no, don't kiss me. That takes a strong man, dude. He's got that Latino heat, dude. But yeah, I find that stuff great, dude. It's great. I find all that stuff awesome. That Raw, people are like Raw's in a lull. I don't know. I don't really fully agree with that. Like, I think it's been pretty good. USA didn't show this. Yeah. The Kiss got more than 60 million views. Exactly. Because we all 60 million views in 16 hours. Yeah, like we all want to see Liv making out with people. And these are the like Judgment Day, say what you will, but they've been the through line, like the carrying underlying B story when Bloodline's not involved. You got Judgment Day telling great stories throughout it, whether it be funny stories or serious stories or stories with romance or cuckoldry. whatever it may be. You know what I mean? Like they're telling this they're telling stuff, man. They're telling us tales, and I'm here for it, as the boomers would say. No, just kidding. Oh, I'm having a laugh today, guys. Today's a good day. Today was a good day. Ooh, it's good to see the chat, man. You guys all hit that like button, man. There's a lot of us rocking here today. And yeah, so we're going to jump into this NXT as or while Dynamite's about to commence. Make sure you hit that like button. 89 of you watching. Let's get those likes up to like 50, 69, guys. 69's in the chat. So yeah, that's all I had about Becky, though. I guess she tweeted something out with her walking out the door and saying like thank you and goodbye or whatever. So yeah, hopefully we see her back sooner than later. But also, like I said, how can we miss you if you don't go away? I think that's good. She's taking a little break. She deserves it, for sure. So now there was something else I wanted to talk about. I just want to pull up my NXT bookmarks, right? And then as Dynamite starts, we're going to talk about the Double or Nothing sort of fallout and the talent and all of these things. So here, we have NXT to talk about, though. And and then Tony Khan did some interview. I can't wait. It's so good. I got a lot of good stuff for you today, you good PWT listeners. So make sure you're hitting that like and okay. So very apropos as we go into this next little segment here. 100 of you watching. Let's get those likes up if you're just tuning in. Avril's calling for 69 likes. 69's in the chat. Let's get those likes up to at least 69, and then I'm going to beg you for 100 by the end of the night. So you guys already know how it goes. Sorry, I'm not fully in the chat. I'm getting organized here. Thank you, John JID, with a super chat. Sorry about that, John JID. I hope Becky finesses all the money she can from this. Oh yeah. Conan. Yeah, I do too, man. And she's going to. Don't worry. Like, it's the same way. Remember Randy Orton took that picture in front of the like all elite thing, like, or the elite floor or door or whatever, and that said like elite on it or whatever, and then he was teasing. That's just like to get people sweating, like, well, we better give him his money. Whatever he asked for, let's give it to him. She won't leave her life, her husband, her tour bus, her child who's growing up in the WWE locker room on the road with them. She's not going to give all of that up to go do Wembley. 45,000 people at Wembley. It'll be awesome. You and Saraya, and I'll give you $4 million. Like, she's, that's not. She already has the millions. Like, that's not this. Yeah, you guys already know. She has the millies. It don't matter. Thank you so much for the super chat. Can I put a Patreon link in the chat? I sure can. Yeah, sorry, chat. I'm getting organized today. I'm unorganized today, if you guys can't tell. There's just a lot going on, man. Like, NXT blew me away, and we're going to talk about that as Dynamite's about to start. And I got to run for 1 second to get it on the TV here. So here, guys, I'm putting in the chat right now. That is the Patreon link. So what I'm going to do in there is there will be Chit Talk Meltzer auto like. Yeah, there. So what there'll be on the Patreon is like, I'm going to watch along stuff, but where we're watching it along, so that I don't get copyright stricken on YouTube, because they're way more lenient, and it's just better on Patreon, and it's easier not to get Don Stevens. And then and I have like really cool ideas. I don't want to say any of them yet, so just wait till like a clip drops on the clip channel, and then you guys will go, oh, and it'll be akin to like what I was doing before, where I watch like the death of, but it'll be more like wrestling things that are more like mainstream. I know the hardcore death shit is like hard to get into sometimes, and I agree, like it's hard for me to watch as well. But let's get into NXT, shall we? Here, let me share my screen, good PWT viewers and listeners. So I just want to go over this show. So if you guys aren't watching NXT, okay, here Dynamite's about to start. I need you guys to give me like literally a minute while I run to the other room and then run back. I will play you some music for 2 seconds. Don't go anywhere, you dummies.
Dummy. Yeah.
I'll be right here. Here, we'll play this guy right here. Do you guys enjoy this? Literally 1 minute. I'll be right back. I just gotta run out of this room. I'm here, you goobers. I'm here. Don't worry. Just need to get Dynamite pulled up. I didn't think ahead once again. I have to like stream the catch up here. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm going here. Where do I got this here? Okay. Yeah, I'm going awful wrestling style today actually as well, so it's in the process of switching things up. Okay, so let's talk about NXT though, as Dynamite is about to go on the air here. So basically what happened, they announced, Sexyy Red. How many chat? Are you guys fans of Sexyy Red? Are you guys familiar with Sexyy Red? Do you know who Sexyy Red is? Were you looking forward? Was she a draw? Did she make you want to tune in? These are the questions that I need answered. For me, I was excited because she's big enough to where it's like, they could have put her on the main roster. And as far as like on a pay-per-view, she could have appeared and then it would have okay, here we go. I got Dynamite pulled up. Yeah, they could have brought Sexyy Red out at like SummerSlam and it would have been awesome, They could have brought her out like at the Battleground pay-per-view itself and it would have been, or a PLE event itself. And it would have been awesome. You know what I mean? But the fact they did it on NXT is really what kicks ass. You know what I mean? I thought that was a good move, and just her appreciation. She seemed knowledgeable. She seemed comfortable. She seems like a real wrestling fan, and that's what I really appreciated about it. Carlos Bravo with a super chat says, for $5, thank you so much. Round of applause. Carlos Bravo says HBK writes a coherent show. I don't love all of it, but I feel like everyone gets a chance to really shine. He's probably the best booker at the moment. Yeah, and he absolutely puts a highlight on like women's talent, like female pro wrestling talent. And WWE is for sure the leaders of that. But more importantly, like he is on the forefront of that. Like he will go down in history as like one of the most important figures in women's pro wrestling history. And HBK is just killing it, man. And I have it in the bookmarks. HBK after this NXT, which just blew me away how good it was. And Dynamite is starting here, guys. Don't worry, we're talking about Dynamite as well. But here, let me share this. So HBK, he changed his profile picture literally to this right here, dude, of him cooking. So like this is just hilarious to me. It's here, we got to drop him an air horn, no doubt. Because he's just John JID's talking about Trap Lore Ross on YouTube. So thank you so much for the super chat. But you're right, dude. HBK is cooking it up, chefing it the best. And then John JID in chat says Trap Lore Ross just made an documentary, The Disturbing Rise of Sexyy Red. I will have to check that out, actually. HBK the GOAT. HBK absolutely is the GOAT. Dynamite, there's balloons in the ring, some sort of celebratory situation is about to go on. But yeah, man, who's getting celebrated? The CEO. So I want to talk about this too. AEW fumbled so badly by putting the belt on Sasha, and it just shows you that like he values WWE. Like he doesn't, like they had Willow, she's their star, the crowd was behind her, yet he goes with Mercedes because he doesn't know how to book properly. Whereas HBK is chefing in the kitchen. He's banging on them pans in the kitchen, mama. And he's telling everybody, look, this is how you book women's wrestling. This is how you get invested in our talent. This is how you bring in an outside talent like Jordynne Grace, which we're about to talk about. And this is how you do that and get people excited for that type of situation while still keeping your talent looking strong. So we head back over to Bleacher Report. And again, we're going to sort of breeze through this a little bit. But Sexyy Red comes out with Ava Raine, or just on her own accord, rather, introduced by Ava Raine, the Rock's daughter. And she shows off the NXT Women's North American Championship. It was awesome. It was money. It was great. And then I was like, hopefully this isn't all she does on the show. And it wasn't all she did on the show. She did a lot more on the show involving with like Trick Williams. She was in the main event segment, I believe. Yeah, it was the main event. Yeah, because well, what happened basically was I want to play it, but I don't want to get in.
I will be hosting Battleground.
So she's hosting Battleground. She gets invited to host Battleground. She unveils the belt. It's a beautiful title. She's twerking. Booker T's losing his goddamn mind the entire show, dude. So here, we're going to listen to Mercedes Moné's promo as we talk about she's saying, say hello to your CEO and new TBS champion. The crowd's trying to say it along with them because they're marks, and this isn't like a catchphrase. This is so cringe. Wasn't I worth the wait? I don't know, dude. We wanted Willow to win. Yeah, money change. She says, didn't I tell you money changes everything? Didn't change a goddamn thing. No TV deal. Anyways, what happened was on NXT, Jordynne Grace comes out and she fucking interrupts Roxanne Perez, more or less. Ava Raine again is like, yeah, your challenger at Battleground, the TNA Knockouts champion, Jordynne Grace, daddy.
Some of you may remember me from the Rumble earlier this year. But if you don't, let me officially introduce myself.
Guys, I got to pause and move it around or else, you know, I'll get Don Stevens. I'll get clapped. So, you know.
Whack.
Now, Roxanne,
Booker T's losing. Booker T's going crazy, dude. So you scrub through this. You know, Shawn Michaels goes, yeah, Juggernaut Jordynne Grace is going to challenge. So I'm sitting here going, what happens, right? So Jordynne Grace later in the show, she gets a match booked. So next week, she's got a match. So now they're making NXT and TNA must-watch TV, dude. I wouldn't be shocked. Like when NXT goes to the CW, they're going to start beating AEW in the ratings with AEW's own people, which we're going to get to. I'm jumping all over the place here, but something else crazy happens in the night. So, but Jordynne Grace, she's going to have a match and win, obviously, on NXT TV next week. What the fuck? And then at Battleground, she's not going to win the NXT title. Is she, chat? Is she? I don't know. If she did, I wouldn't be mad. Like, that would be fucking crazy. If she's going back and forth, TNA and NXT with the belt, that would be insane. I don't think they would do that. So Roxanne gets a weaselly heel win, but then how? Is that because somebody fucks her over, an NXT star? So then Jordynne goes to TNA and then an NXT star challenges her on the next TNA pay-per-view, guys? Are you guys following what I'm saying? Like, is this how they get there? right? So then Jordan's focus is off Roxanne Perez. It's on whatever heel attacked her that's an NXT star, and then that NXT star can go do like, what's the next TNA pay-per-view? You know what I mean? So, and TNA loves Vegas. WWE setting up their residency there. The next battleground is in the Apex. Hello, putting connections together. I'm getting to the super chats, guys. Just give me a second. I'm on one right now. Let me get this off. So I don't know. This is just awesome. I'm popping for this right now. Sky Blue just evil heelishly attacked Mercedes from behind. This is all the women's division ever is. It's just woman comes out, woman gets attacked in AEW. It's woman comes out, woman gets attacked, woman saves woman, women have a tag match. Woman comes out, woman gets attacked, woman saves woman, women have a tag match. That's what it is every fucking time. Too many people, the lights go out. Nobody gives a shit. Meanwhile, you look over at this. We got Roxanne Perez, who I'm like, damn, her title reign. She deserves that belt. She's doing good heel work, but it's not really for me. But then, goddamn, you just interject right when I'm like, damn, dude, even though Trick Willie's on top, NXT's kind of in a lull. You just fucking inject Jordan Grace into the mix, making TNA and NXT both must watch. Like, I have to watch both shows this week. I know TNA's probably pre-tape, but it's just like, I gotta keep up with what's going on now, right? And so, we move along. Lola Vice just doing incredible work. She's fighting in like a underground match, like an MMA style match with Shayna Baszler, whatever. It's in the Apex. The Young Bucks and Okada and them are pulling up. This guy's in a fucking short bus again. Not surprised. Jack Perry's short bus. So we get Lexis King. You move along, right? You move along to the very end of the show, and Sexy Red comes back out. She's shaking that thing, dude. Booker's T's losing his mind. Oh, this is like the same clip here where she reveals the belt. But anyways, so what happens is, so we see a TNA talent. A lot of people, we talked about All Ego Ethan Page on PWT. He worked Marv, the movie monster. If you guys don't recall, he worked him with that little crying sob story promo. And what happened was Trick Williams wins the match with Javon Evans, and Lash Legend comes out. I believe that's her name, and she's all in love with Trick. And then Sexy Red's out there. She gets it. Sexy Red knows how to be a manager. She's not wasting any movement. She knows where to be on time as far as like timing, the camera, you know what I mean? And like she's shaking that ass and doing the split, and the camera, the hard cam's trying not to zoom in on her, right, dude? Like there's filming around her, but I love that WWE was like, no, Sexy, you go out there and do you, because that's why we are bringing you in to do you. We're not going to water you down and give you some bullshit script to read like your Bob fucking Barker. Super chats. I'm getting to super chats. Let me get this off, okay? Because I love this NXT front to back. So, and the matches were all solid. Like Ridge Holland's doing good work. Anyways, so, and Swerve's coming out on Dynamite. Anyway, so, Ethan Page, he cuts this promo and people are like, he might sign to Impact and da-da-da-da-da. All of a sudden, Sexy Red's doing her thing. Sorry to bring it back. And WWE's like, do your thing. That's why we're bringing you in. And they just ratcheted up NXT in the best way, in the best way possible. And so the match ends. Sexy dips out. And then like Trick Willie's chilling. And then fucking out of nowhere, he gets blindsided. All Ego Ethan Page is stomping him out. I'm watching going, holy shit. But I'm super happy for this. Like, this is awesome. I said it before. He was so underutilized in AEW. And I was like, damn, maybe we get the North brought back together and put back together over in TNA, like Josh Alexander, Ethan Page. Maybe they feud. Maybe, who knows, right? Like I was like, but yo, both of those guys in WWE would be awesome. And I think I said Ethan Page, I could even see him just being a main roster guy right away, who's just like a mid-lower card guy. And if he's happy with that, he's happy with that. Cool. But no, dude, he comes in, attacks Trick Willie, holds up the belt, and then the crowd, people online are saying the crowd was chanting, "Who are you? Who are you?" I don't think so. I think they were chanting all ego, all ego. That's what I heard. Now, if I'm wrong, chat, tell me in the chat. Okay? Tell me in the chat if I'm wrong. I'm getting the super chats right after this. So here's everything I sort of explained. I'm going to scrub through this so I don't get pulled. So, right, we scrubbed through this. She's like, oh, who jumped like Oro? And then what the story is. So the lights go out. What I love is that the lights go out AEW style. Like this is what AEW would do. So it's sort of keeping it in the realm of the same gimmick. By the way, they're doing a game of House of the Dragon, Kill Switch versus Swerve. Oh, yeah, because he's like a dragon. It's great. Meanwhile, over here, they're booking Ethan Page so that people care about him again. You know what I mean? So we're watching this, right? Lights go out, nothing. And then what's important here is that he knocks Trick into. I X'd out here. So I want to see if we can hear what they're chanting. Actually.
Trick, I took out Norm. I took out Orm.
So the story is that Ethan Page, while he was under contract with AEW, took out all Oro and all these people, right? Here, let me get to super chats. For $5, here, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to get this off. Before the stream, I was in Booker T's stream. It's hilarious. Y'all go check out the podcast he did today. Talk a lot about NXT and AEW. Oh, I will, John JID. I absolutely will. And thank you for the super chat. From the HPN for $5 as well. You get a bro. Ethan Page is going to be the new Dijak, and it's going to be spectacular. I don't know what you mean by that other than like a big badass ass kicker, and I'm super down. Thank you so much for the super chat. We got a lot to get to here. The Elite built like the Elite built like they skipped the gym every day.
Tommy,
Yo, another infamous Andre Adams fucking burial. I love that. Thank you so much. Awful. I see you, buddy. I see you. Don't worry. I'm getting to you, buddy. We're backed up here. I was getting my NXT appraisal off here. The HBN again. Jordan Grace versus Julia. NXT TNA Worlds Collide. Oh my God. This is what I'm talking about. When we get the NXT versus TNA card, which I'm not even done talking about all this. I'm about to rant some more about this because we all know that this fucking Luchasaurus match is going to go way longer. Like Swerve's headbutting the giant guy, right? Like, what the fuck? But yeah, dude, we're going to get TNA versus NXT card. It's going to be phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like, I see that happening down the line for sure. It would only make sense. Thank you so much for the super chat. And $5, Will Kism. You know, WWE loves Roxanne to have her face Jordan Grace and at some point Julia. Absolutely. Roxanne, that's why she's defending. Roxanne is going to be like the woman like who holds off these sort of invaders, if not invaders, but like Julia's sort of an outsider. Jordan Grace is sort of an outsider, and she deserves it, man. She put a lot of time in as a face. She's one of Booker T's girls. She put a lot of time in as a heel, or like she has been doing good work. She can have good matches with everybody. And I think that's what they're looking for, you know, more than anything. And, like good enough matches, you know? And I agree. She's so, you know, they have faith in her. She's one of those girls like, who is the 4 horsewoman who got called up? I think it was Bailey, right? Got called up way after everybody. And that's because like sometimes you just need that person who can carry, right? Like Lyra just got called up way before Roxanne. You need that person sometimes who can just be the workhorse of the brand. That's what she is. And so thank you so much for all of our great super chatters and folks joining us on the show. Awful Wrestling. Round of applause for everybody's turned off. What's up, buddy?
Yo, Phil, you watching this show?
I am, dude. You're watching Dynamite as I see you got there, and I was just sort of lambasting the booking of the AEW women's division as I went over how hot the NXT women's division is, and I just want to finish up this segment I'm doing here, Awful. So I'm glad you're joining me. Did you see NXT from last night?
No, not yet.
A phenomenal program. And yeah,
what are you drinking, man?
TNA.
What are you drinking?
I'm just sipping coffee right now, my good friend, and some
All
water.
right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. What about you, dude? What you
Jameson triple distilled Irish whiskey.
Love it. Love it. I like
Anyway, yeah.
vodka and tequila in Minecraft personally.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Hey, finish up, man. I'm here.
yeah, no. So I just wanted to finish. I was just going off, bruv, and I was just talking about how Ethan Page, he's a good vet and a good hand to have in NXT. But the thing is he cut a promo that I'm gonna play for you guys here in Phil Mark's bookmarks. Here, I'll just finish playing this little.
Okay, yeah, please.
So people are saying they're chanting, "Who are you?" I hear all ego. I hear all ego, all ego. I don't know if that's who are you? I don't know if maybe am I dumb, guys? Chat. So he's there, man, and I'm popping for this, and HBK's cooking, and so I'm gonna go over to my bookmarks because what happened was he ended up cutting a promo where he's like, listen, bro, I'm not even signed to WWE. He's like, I'm not even signed to WWE. So they might just be bringing him in to like put the champ over, have a couple matches. But all I'm saying is wait till they go to CW and we get like Lexis King versus Ricky Starks and they are outdrawing Dynamite with Dynamite's own people in NXT. Like that's what's gonna happen, dude. Like I'm predicting it now. But here's what Ethan Page had to say, man. Here's a little 1-minute promo from him after his debut in WWE, and he's saying he's not even actually signed to WWE. Now I don't believe that. And then Vic Joseph was also like, wasn't he just in AE? And then he gets cut off,
right?
They won't even mention
listen.
it. Yeah.
I'm going to be real with you. I didn't see this, and I didn't see his supposed debut. I read about it a couple times on Twitter, but I've not seen this footage. So let's see what this guy's talking about. I don't know him either.
Everybody saw what I did last night.
Nope.
Literally everybody. We're talking millions of views across all social platforms. It's pretty heavy. I'd even say that's a bit of buying power for Ethan Page, especially because, contrary to popular belief, Ethan Page is not signed to any company or any contract. And I'm going to just assume that Trick Williams would love to get a little payback and revenge on Ethan Page. So NXT, I'm going to leave this one to you. Ball is in your court, and all ego is all ears. I'm going to assume somebody in that company has my number. I'll wait for the call.
So the story is that, like, basically in how NXT pitched it was like, okay, he's under contract with AEW, but he's been silently attacking certain people backstage. And then now he's coming and going, and like, even look on his Twitter, it's not like WWE Ethan Page. It's not like that. It's just his regular Twitter. And he's like, I'm not even actually signed to NXT. And he's a guy who put a lot of work in TNA. Like, they valued him tremendously. And he went to AEW to take a chance on himself. Dude, this could be a great, I don't know, if he goes and does some TNA dates while he's doing NXT appearances and shit, that's a good way to like circulate vets while not having to bring them to your main roster, while keeping NXT, what I mean? While elevating NXT.
Give me a quick rundown on this jabroni. I don't know who this guy is.
So Ethan Page was like really popular with, are you familiar with Josh Alexander in TNA?
Yeah, I know him.
So they were a tag team called the North, and they were like, at one point they were considered like one of the, of course they were exclusive to TNA, but they were considered like one of the best tandems, like one of the best tag teams going at the time. And then what happened was AEW became a thing, and during the pandemic, and even before the pandemic, Ethan Page really blew up for doing like cinematic stuff on his own YouTube channel and stuff like that. And this guy actually he has a good following outside of just pro wrestling, as he's like an avid like toy collector, and he's a family man, and he does
what's his gimmick? What's his gimmick, vlogs. Bill?
His gimmick is all ego Ethan Page, right?
Okay.
So he's like this egotistical, he's a Canadian, Josh Alexander's Canadian, right? And he's just like this egotistical, it's nothing like overly unique or new or anything, but he's just sort of like this arrogant asshole who, like, in AEW, it was sort of like, I'm betting on myself. That's what all AEW shit is. So give it time to develop that character. But in
You're telling me what to do? Give it time.
yeah.
I'm
In
just asking questions here.
TNA, he was just like a Canadian. Him and Josh Alexander were like the Canadian fucking version of like American. What's the team name? Team
Okay.
Angle. You know what I'm saying? They were like Team Angle
Sure.
of like Canada in TNA. Does that make sense? And then he went heel, went to AEW. They stuck him with Scorpio Sky, and they became the like, hey,
Phil,
we deserve better, guys. You know?
I'm relying on you, my man. Does this guy have any upside? What's going on? I mean,
so
he just looks like a guy to me.
Yeah. So he's a tremendous worker. He's really good on the mic. You're about to see that. He never got a good chance in fucking AEW. You're about to see that happen.
All right.
And he's a guy who's going to elevate other talent. They're not just going to put him over on everyone. And he's a guy who can impart knowledge as he ages. But again, even not that he's old, but it's like when you're like 40 in WWE, they don't give a fuck about that anymore. But what it is with Ethan Page is that I just think he's a guy who can help elevate people and will bring eyeballs because of the fact that, as I was saying, he has a decent following outside of just wrestling, although it is wrestling adjacent, but he's like an avid toy collector. He vlogs. He sells his own action figures, outsell like Chris Jericho AEW figures and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like the ones he does on his own time. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying he'll come in and be this big merch mover, but like he's a guy that has a social presence that
you tried it with the Acclaimed.
If they bring him in and then he fights Trick and loses to Trick and then does appearances in TNA and NXT, I think that could elevate both shows. And you have to understand TNA has Endeavor has a vested interest in TNA as much as they do, not as much as they do in WWE, but a lot. Sorry, I missed this. Scully vibes. We're ranting today. Sorry. For $5, CM Punk beat up half the elite in real life. Why would we ever take them serious in kayfabe? We don't. We don't. Scully.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. That's the thing.
All right. Well, I'm willing to give Mr. Ethan Page a chance.
Thank you for the super chat.
To see what's going on.
Yeah, man. And so, you should. And the big thing here is that he's going to heel good. He's going to force Trick to step it up on the mic. It'll impart some knowledge, a little bit of veteran work. Swerve. Okay, so Luchasaurus just kicked out of Swerve shit. And then now Swerve is cutting Luchasaurus's hair. Like that's what a heel would do. So
have you noticed during this match, Phil, that Swerve has got no expression on his face? He sells nothing. Everything he's trying to look cool.
And he just
won.
Snipped hair. That's like a blood feud fucking.
Yeah, I might be a little bit behind you.
Yeah, if you're a bit behind me, dude, watch what he does. He snips Luchasaurus's hair like a heel and steps on the back of his head. Like this is
Nana's back, of course.
This is complete and utter buffoonery booking by AEW over here. And this is what I mean. What you're going to see, Awful, is you're going to see this guy, Ethan Page, who you didn't hear about, who got stuck on fucking Ring of Honor, who is underutilized, who bet on himself, who left TNA as part of one of the hottest tag team acts and left TNA to go to AEW to bet on himself. And then Josh Alexander stayed in TNA, you know? And then they made him the world champion and rolled out the red carpet for him. All ego went to AEW to bet on himself. They just one of Tony Khan's toys. You're about to see. The reason I'm putting him over so hard, you think Shawn Michaels doesn't see what the fuck I'm saying about this guy, you know? He sees it. He's going to bring him in. We're not going to sign him to NXT. He's not going to be a main roster guy. He'll come in and he'll rotate this territory, bro. They're bringing it back to what wrestling used to be, bro. And that's what WWE's doing. And that's what AEW was supposed to do that they never fucking did. And it's hilarious that now HBK and Triple H got control and DX is like, no, dude, this is how you do it. You know, like we're going to rotate people in and out of the territory, like Ethan Page, and he says it. I'm not signed to any contracts. So I think that was a great booking. I thought it was awesome to bring him in. He's not brought in to get ratings and who's this guy and holy shit. It's not that, but it's reminiscent of the black and gold era where out of nowhere Undisputed Era attack everybody and you're like half the crowd's going, who the fuck are these guys? And the other half are going, it's Red Dragon. So once they I don't know, man, once they go to CW with this, and then also it should be noted, right? Where does TNA air? Access TV. Where's Battleground airing as well? Access TV, dude. And it's from the Apex. Endeavor streaming picked up TNA. It's all, I told you guys this a long time ago. I was like, Natty Neidhart. So her contract's coming up. She is going to go wrestle Jordan Grace and shit in TNA, though. Watch it happen. I'm telling you guys that's what's going to happen. Because when her contract comes up, she's not going to renew it right away, but she's never going to leave WWE. Think Natty's going to what? Go to AEW? Like, come on. No, dude. Her husband works in WWE. Fucking she's going to stay in WWE, but is she going to go do some TNA dates? Yeah. Like, why wouldn't she? And and sorry if I'm playing spoiler here, but that's what's going to happen. And we're going to see more talent doing that. Now, it's not just going to be like all out talent swap. Let's fantasy mark book every fucking crazy match that could ever have. It's not going to be like that entirely, but we are going to see, like, we're seeing them tweet it out. So we might as well transition into that. I think I bookmarked some of them. We're seeing like, so here it's reported, the word backstage at tonight's NXT was the Knockouts champion Jordan Grace appearing tonight at Battleground next Saturday will not be the only WWE and TNA collaboration in the days ahead. The belief is that there will be some sort of NXT representation on future TNA events and programming as well, for sure. Don't be shocked if we don't see TNA emanate from the Apex once that happens. We have fucking... here we go. Where is it here? I had something... here we go. Yeah, everybody's smiling about it's Jordan Grace. Yeah, she shows up, music hits, people like, she got a huge big pop though when she did come out. The crowd was like, whoa. But yeah, we're starting to see people tweet out, like Drew McIntyre, one of their biggest stars, tweets out like, yo, I can go there too. Like, he tweeted out a picture of himself as TNA champion. It was yeah, so the door's open now, huh? And then we had like the MSK guys tweeting out like, put us together one more time. Like, that one dude got fired from NXT because he had allegations that I guess were like proven false or whatever. And they were just like from like a girlfriend. It wasn't like he did some like Gable Steveson level shit. It was just, or allegedly, right? It was like he did some, like, this girlfriend just accused him of shit or something. And then so he's back in TNA with his old group that was like all a group in NXT or whatever. Either way, they are okay, I like this. I like what AEW is doing right now. The TBS championship match is booked for later tonight. They're not going to save it for next week. They're not going to go to the pay-per-view. It's just, okay, she got attacked. Now later tonight, we're going to see a match. Okay, that's a bonus plus for AEW right there.
What just happened? What are you talking about?
So they just announced, Shivani got on the mic and announced, okay, Sky Blue.
Okay, I'm watching it now, yeah. Go ahead.
Tonight. And then now Moxley's going to cut a cool promo backstage.
You think MJF's going to show up tonight?
Probably. They're stupid if they... Well, people are saying they're stupid if they didn't advertise it. I don't agree with that. They're just dumb if they don't do it. But John JID says WWE will bring more weekly viewers to TNA overall. Exactly. And they want to build that up. Why? Because now Endeavor has actual financial vested interest in TNA, and this is actually smart on behalf of WWE on so many levels. Like, this is so smart for them because then they can develop talent. Like, there's talent who went to AEW also that maybe shouldn't have from NXT, where it's like, well, they could just go to TNA, work that greenness off, and then fucking come back to NXT and then come back. This is just this is a working relationship and we're going to see it with Bloodsport more and more as well. We already did see it. We're about to get Chris Jericho's learning tree.
God damn.
I don't know, knock off fucking Piper's Pit for $5.
Did you hear? Go ahead. the Euro super chat.
For $5, Andre Adams says, I feel like Pac Jerry is missing half the prerequisite amount of testosterone to qualify as a man. Oh my goodness. Yeah, dude, they need a cruiserweight division. He'd be believable as like cruiserweight champ fighting fucking Orange.
Fighting
for
who?
like him and Orange and Adam Cole for the cruiserweight title. Like they had a chance to make the cruiserweight division cool again in AEW, and they're like, we don't believe in weight classes.
What in the third grade fucking bullshit is this? What's
Jesus
going
Christ.
on with? There's a tree in the middle
Andre
of the
Adams
ring.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yo, Chris Jericho looked like one of them teachers that get caught fucking kids. You know?
Oh my
One of
god.
those- look at him. I'm so sorry, YouTube. I'm so sorry. Come on now. We're making jokes.
What's going on?
Andre
It
Adams,
looks like a
thank you so
stage
much.
play in the middle of the fucking ring.
Yeah, dude, this shit looks like a fucking kindergarten stage play.
Oh man, this is terrible television. I will say, the production looks brighter than last time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless
I think they have
my
a decent house. I think it's like 5K people or something. So a decent
yeah,
house.
but you're
for
in you're in an over 10,000 seat arena. You know, let's not forget that.
Is that true tonight?
Yeah, man, stop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always going to be that way until we
Yeah.
actually hear about the smaller
because
crowd.
occasionally Tony will run a fucking smaller building.
Daly's place.
Yeah.
A high school gymnasium.
So sorry, we're just listening to Jericho's and Big
if you can
Bill's.
turn it up. I mean, I'm watching it with his goofy pink jacket here.
I don't know if you guys can hear that. I'm trying to.
Want me to turn mine up?
Yeah, turn yours up for the good folks listening at home.
Remember, mine's a little on delay, but I'll try.
That's okay. That's okay. That's no problem. Yeah, so let me pull this card up, I guess, here while we're chilling.
Thanks to you, Redwood, for those inspiring words. And thanks to all of you for making the new Learning Tree University t-shirt.
Let's go, Awful. Thank you. This is awesome.
Thanks, guys.
DK Murphy for $5 says, how long before Marigold and Noah start a streaming deal with Endeavor? Fuck, dude. I don't know, but look for this stuff on Netflix, man. Like Netflix is really, there's a bid, not a bid, but they are really pushing heels as well. Watch, they're gonna roll that out really hard. They want a third season of that really badly. I know that to be true, and they want that pro wrestling content on there. So I'm not saying they're gonna go all out, Mark fucking. You know, they're not gonna go all out Netflix, but like, oh, it's this, but like, don't be surprised if they have like a section you go on of Netflix where it's like wrestling 24/7, because when Japan runs shows in the middle of the fucking night, and then you have the library, and then they can air maybe old WWE Network shit like Swerve, or you know, all those shows like Legends House, they can air that shit. So they're gonna have they're gonna have a lot to do there. Sorry, Brian Keith came out, guys. Sorry, Awful. I'm a little bit ahead of you, but the Bounty Hunter, they're really pushing him, I guess. So that's good shit. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Only a few are chosen, and many talk the talk of wanting to sit under the learning tree, but very few
Yo,
walk
Awful,
the walk.
turn that down for like 2 seconds while I just respond to these 2 quick super chats here.
You got it.
Thank you, sir. Looks like my cousin's high school play I went to. Yeah, dude, it's like a fucking preschool. It looks like Brendan Schaub's Gringo Poppy setup with like cardboard cutout fucking background. Oh my god. Scully vibes for $2 minus 100K viewers instantly. Yeah, this segment mine. They just lost 100,000 right here. Please retire. Oh shit. Thank you so much. For
the only
super
thing
chats.
cool about Brian Keith is that he wears that poncho to the ring, and the gimmick has the ability to work, but in this environment, in this setting, it's not working. Like it would probably do really well on the indie scene, but he's going to have to level up on the the character for it to be more effective here. I mean, he's tiny as well. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man, he can go. He's awesome. I like Brian Keith, and yeah, you're right. The gimmick, like the Frank Castle style Punisher bounty hunter, if you will. I like that gimmick, the bounty hunter of pro wrestling. Guys, we're at 70 likes. There's been about 150 to 160 of you guys watching throughout the show. We hit 69. Thank you for that, but let's get that up to 100. Please, 100 likes. I'm going to keep bugging you until we get to 100. So 50, or sorry, pardon me, my math is bad. My math is Meltzer math. 30 of you go hit that like, please. I know there's 30 of you who haven't. That's Jonathan Gresham in disguise. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, man. The octopus transformed Gresham into Brian Keith. Holy shit, Andre Adams. That's hilarious, dude. Andre Adams consistently has the best roasts. So we have a IWGP World Heavyweight title eliminator later, Rocky Romero versus John Moxley. So again, great that they're saving the IWGP shit for later. Why does Rocky Romero, he's the vice president of both companies, New Japan and AEW, so I get a world title eliminator shot? That's crazy. We get Mariah May versus Saraya. Okay. I mean, I'm down. Yeah, some HLA. Some hot lesbo action. And then why Statlander, I guess, is a segment we're getting, or not, maybe. I don't know. And then we're getting the Forbidden Door Casino Gauntlet, where the winner challenges for the AEW championship at Forbidden Door. So is that like that random gauntlet triple threat we saw like 2 weeks ago that Ospreay was in? Like, Tony Khan is the worst elementary school level pro wrestling booker of all time. And shout out WWE and TNA here. We're gonna wrap that up. Okay, Joe's out here fighting Hook. This shouldn't even, bro. Joe with little brother Hook. This ain't even a real fight, bro. This ain't even a real fight. If they're trying to sell me on Joe versus Hook, bro, Joe would beat that.
Oh my
ass.
God.
He'd noogie him. Joe would fucking noogie Hook. Okay, no, they're gonna team up. Okay, good. Yeah, Joe's good because Hook's style is like, if Joe's gonna mentor him, that's good shit. I thought he was gonna I thought they were gonna start throwing down too, because I was like, listen, Joe would fucking pick Hook up, shake him for his lunch money, dude. Like this, let's get real here. Oh man, no one cares about any of this. This is fucking garbage. This HLA.
Is atrocious. I'm watching the stare down now. Why?
Yeah,
how is it that Hook just belly to belly two security guards that look like 50 pounds heavier than him, and then the other two big 220-pound dudes, they fend off like, no, please don't suplex me, Mr. Hook. Oh my God. This is awful. And look at Joe with his Hawaiian fucking shirt. Oh
like
my goodness gracious! Yeah, I'm telling you, they called him in, and he had to take the quick plane in because this segment drowned and died 1,000 deaths. Wow, AEW gets worse and worse by each consecutive segment.
Okay, so now they're running promos for Megan Bain, and I appreciate that. Build her up. But what happened? This is what fucking makes me mad about WWE too. Awful, let me ask you something.
Sure.
What happened to the good old vignette? Where it was just like a fucking vignette and they're like, this guy's coming 4 weeks away. This guy's coming in 3 weeks. And then you got the promo like the week right before. Like, remember Carlito Caribbean Cool was coming and all we saw was like the ocean and then we saw like a bucket of apples for like 3-4 weeks. And then finally he comes on, you see Carlito grab it and he goes, a spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. And then he bites the apple. And then the next week, we see a vignette where he spits apple in a guy's face. And then he makes his debut match, won the title in his debut match. You're like, oh shit, this guy's a big deal. What? Like, yeah, Excalibur talking like this, like a mark, being really what he thinks is serious, but he's never had to be serious except for when he's punched out Jimmy Havoc at Tony Khan's party at a restaurant in year 2 of AEW. Yeah, and I'm Excalibur, and Megan Bain has accomplished a lot across the seas, and I'm trying to be serious Excalibur. Like that does, and then they just show highlights of her Japan shit. It's like, that's cool, but just give me like a Megan Bain vignette. Like
when you're invested heavily in a character, when you know you've got them in your coffers, you want to make sure that they're presented in a proper way. And with these guys, with AEW, you're bringing in people from the indie scene. You don't really have a long-term investment. And not to mention, you're telling these guys like, hey, you can kind of do whatever you like out here. So there isn't going to be this big push to make somebody to have a vignette to go to and to look at, because just like that takes too much planning. That's too much of an investment for Tony Khan to do.
And we're going to talk about that. We'll transition to that right now. But first, I just want to say, like, so Hook, right? He said it, like, he's going to test free agency when his contract's up. HBK is going to take Hook. Like, we're going to see Lexus King versus Hook on the CW, and it's going to outdraw Dynamite. Watch, guys. Maybe not, it'll be like Ricky Starks versus Lexus King or something. I keep saying it because it's going to happen. Watch. We're going to see 2 AEW guys main event a CW show for NXT that outdraws Dynamite, and we're going to start seeing that regularly. And I just want to applaud TNA and WWE and what they're doing and just the way they're booking things. And Chef Shawn Michaels will be hanging out with us throughout the entirety of this stream. And like, here's the thing, right? So even Jeff Cobb, like, obviously he's working the kayfabe, but Jeff Cobb's like, funny, New Japan guys have to go through a gauntlet match, but those dorks can just say what they want at our biggest title and it gets granted. Even Stevie Wonder can see how stupid that is. So even though it's like a fucking joke and he's like working, he's still burying the fucking AEW booking and Tony Khan and shit. And that's what's hilarious. And then we have like the dirt sheets, because I want to transition into what you were talking about before. But just first, like, we have the dirt sheet. Here's Corey Brennan of Fightful going, the way some people on this app act when a wrestler jumps from WWE to AEW or AEW to WWE makes me lose faith in humanity. I assure you, you're not actually part of the team. And then I quote tweeted and I was like, dude, meanwhile, you spent Sunday night, and this is true. Meanwhile, you spent Sunday night breaking down why people are stupid for not understanding the mechanics of a fire stunt at AEW Double or Nothing. That's facts. Go on this guy's Twitter, and he's, oh, you're stupid. He like posts an article to like fire stuntman stunts, and is like, I suggest you research how to do fire stunts if you think what Jack Perry did was unsafe or dumb. And then fucking I go, you're just upset because you're an alleged NXT insider. Facts. Go on his fucking Twitter. It says Fightful NXT insider. You're an alleged NXT insider and didn't know about or report anything that happened last night on NXT with Jordan Grace and fucking all the NXT talent calling out WWE talent and TNA talent, pardon me, back and forth. And because they're all on Twitter now, calling each other out. Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali are like, let's fucking go, you know? And then like, this guy didn't know Ethan Page was going to be there. They never know. WWE never lets these guys know. So I just had to fucking smoke that guy on X. It's hilarious to me, dude. But yeah, man. So what were we talking about before when it came to AEW? There was something
we were talking about the vignettes and
the vignettes and that, and like, yeah. So basically, AEW just banks on like, look at their cool moves. They're coming in AEW. Here's some cool moves they do, and it's exactly like you said. The character work is so important, and there is here not a good morning for some people. Yeah, I have a couple. You're in the bookmarks a couple times, and you are, dude, this week. And so where was it here? People are leaving AEW though. You know what I mean? Here's Tony Khan. Let's just take a look at this. Khan say.
God damn, what a dork.
Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I saw him do that in time.
He is such a fucking dork.
That shit's hilarious, man. And so Mark Henry's leaving. I'm not going to be renewing my deal. Even look at this video game. Matt Dickey, shout out Matt Dickey, was cooking MJF's tattoo. He put it in his game and was like, best,
yeah, I saw that.
What to say? Bet on yourself, Matt Dickey. Like, I don't know. That's hilarious. He's always like cooking the AEW game. And here we have, is this Observer? Yeah, see, I want to save all the Observer stuff, guys. You already know.
Rocky Romero is giving Moxley a fight. This guy was just hired a few months ago, and everybody got in my ass because I was just like, who the fuck is Rocky Romero? And I'm still asking that question.
Well, he's the vice president of New Japan and AEW simultaneously.
Okay.
Did you know that? Yeah.
Big fucking deal.
I must have, I swear I had something bookmarked that I lost out on here, but here is, so we were talking about like the differences in booking with NXT and AEW and that. And here's Kevin Nash's advice, some HBK advice for Will Ospreay, bruv. Here's Kevin Nash on Will Ospreay.
So what I noticed when I watched the match, especially when I watched it back, that Ospreay is, as much as Meltzer puts him over, he has a tendency to throw bad rushed punches to keep that speed. Like everything is about that speed and about that pace and that rhythm. And if you're out there, Will, slow the fuck down. Watch Shawn Michaels. Like Shawn Michaels made his punches count. Watch Shawn throw those punches when he was
fighting like Vader and shit. Watch how Shawn fought him and shit, or whatever, you know, like fight. I know it's a work, but you guys get it.
Yeah. You know, especially against like somebody like Scott, like a bigger guy.
Oh, there you go. I didn't listen to this before, but yeah, you just said it. You know, like someone against Scott Hall, who is fucking huge.
Like fucking Shawn's punches look like they could hurt you. So slow those fucking down. You can still, because you can motor so quick off of step and a half. If you get cut off and thrown off the ropes, you can still motor and do everything. Just, it's not going to slow the match down. It's going to make your shit more believable. So, and I'm saying this to you. I'm saying this out of trying to help you out. I'm sure you fucking got a dojo somewhere that you're going to fucking challenge me next week.
Dude, Kevin Nash is a fucking national treasure. Is John Moxley hurt? Why is he wrestling? It doesn't make sense to me, Phil. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for you know what? I couldn't give a shit about this match because I think Moxley's just gonna win, right? He beat Takeshita in the title eliminator. How was fucking, like, I like Rocky Romero when he was in Roppongi Vice in the fucking 2010s and in New Japan and shit. I'm a Phil Marks. But here's the thing. What the fuck did he, like, did he win on, did he just have a match on Collision? Like, why is he getting a title eliminator? God damn it. It's just poor booking. And that's basically the theme of this show. That's why I had to start the show early this week and just mark out and rant and rave and blow Shawn Michaels, because it's like, God damn it. In one swoop, he made TNA and NXT. Like, I got to go watch both of those shows next week. Can't miss. Like, I got to watch TNA tomorrow. Can't miss it. And honestly, because now I'm just curious, like, well, okay, a while ago, did any NXT people film some shit with TNA we don't know about? And it's crazy too, because the guy who was hiding Jordan Grace and Ethan Page was Cesar Bononi, who was signed to fucking AEW. He's either signed to AEW. What?
Would you have wanted to know that TNA and WWE had a relationship before the Jordan Grace reveal last night? Like, sometimes it's good to be surprised.
I knew that they did, but I had no idea that was going to happen on NXT.
Right.
And that's what I loved about it. You know what I mean? Like, yes, the shock was there. I love that they didn't let that get out. And WWE's doing a great job of that. Whereas AEW, they don't do a good job of that because they want to leak all this shit out because they think the dirt sheets are fun. And for $5, Corey got worked so bad by HBK. He kept saying that Roxy opponent was Tegan Knox. which was cover. Oh, Corey, yeah, the dude from Fightful. Is that I don't pay too much attention. I just saw that one tweet, and then I saw the other day when he was talking about like literally tweeting out like fire safety for like stuntmen who do fire spot, and I'm like, wow, you couldn't. So yeah, he got worked so bad by HBK, and he kept saying Roxy. So the guy who, so you mean to tell me that he was the NXT insider was going, oh yeah, Tegan Knox is gonna be the opponent. Like, what? The most random fucking match ever. The most random person. They were keeping it such under wraps. And then fucking he's telling you it's going to be Tegan Knox. Then it was Jordan Grace from TNA. Oh, my God. Awful.
Yeah.
You can't make this shit up, dude. You can't make it up, man. It's hilarious.
Twitter's not real, apparently.
Yeah, dude. It's so funny. Here, I think the rest is some Meltzer stuff here. So I don't know when we're gonna blow that flute, but we're watching Dynamite. Oh yeah, so basically here, WWE Hall of Famer Arn Anderson. So we're seeing the Exodus. That's another theme of this show, right? A lot of people are. So let me rewind at the start of the show. I said, here, I'm actually going to start a poll over on, if you're on the Pro Wrestle Clips channel, I'm going to start a poll for the chat. Please chat, go over, get this up to 100 likes. Please, please, please. We're at like, I think 80. So I know there's 20 of you. We're at like 170, 180 people watching. So we're going to start a poll though in the chat, and we're going to ask the question, are you enjoying AEW Dynamite so far? And here we go. We're starting.
Yo, they're about to go into another commercial break with goddamn Jon Moxley and Rocky Romero.
And Rocky Romero, bro. Yeah, this should have just been a squash match. Like, how the fuck is he
I
getting
can't believe this.
I know, it's insane. And that's why we started the poll, because I'm sitting here going, what has this been so far? Guys, we need 19 more likes. 19 more likes, please, to get to 100. Thank you so much. I know there's 19 of you who have not hit like. Anyways, though, so there's like an exodus going on, right? So I want to bring it back to the start of the show. Connor Hassler, buddy of the show. He's telling me off pod, he's telling me on pod a lot. He's like, dude, a lot of these AEW contracts are coming up. He's like, and lot of these people are not gonna re-sign, right? And he's got insight on the indie folk, right? And so he's like, a lot of these AEW contracts will be up, and a lot of people won't re-sign. And not only that, a lot of people have speculated that. Why would you re-sign? Like, why would you? So we're seeing it though, dude. We're seeing it. We're like Matt Hardy, Ethan Page.
Yeah, we're
Mark
getting close,
Henry,
aren't we?
Arn Anderson. Who else? Hooks just said he's testing free agency. So we're seeing it more and more and more and more. And Arn Anderson says, he just flat out said it. His contract's not even up yet. And he's like, I've been in this business for 42 years. I've often said this business doesn't owe me anything. I owe it everything. Here at the tail end of my career, I've been very fortunate. Is that a good Arn? It's got to be more like Fluffy. Been more fortunate to work for AEW and Tony Khan for the last 4 years. I'll get it. Don't worry, guys. He is a great human being. He's taken the wrestling business and given it another option and a whole other category of what pro wrestling is perceived to be. That might not be a good thing. But he just goes on to say, I just want to thank everybody. I made good money. I'm leaving. And Ricky Starks is obviously going to be next. And this is another Cody guy, because Ethan Page is also a Cody guy. It should be noted, right? So I think I left that out when we were talking about Ethan
In
Page.
about 6 months, Dynamite's just going to have like 20 wrestlers.
Yeah.
He's not bringing anybody back.
Yeah,
He's
it'll
just
be
not going to re-sign anybody.
Who will be left? FTR, fucking the Bucks.
Yeah, Samoa Joe, Kenny Omega.
Joe. I have faith Joe won't be there longer than like a year, from that, like, by 2026, he'll be back in WWE. Just me predicting things. But yeah, on his own podcast, he said that. And
I've got Hook looking at me with his fucking stupid little mouth and his goofy ass haircut.
Oh, dude, you don't like that anime haircut, dude?
Oh my God. Get the
anime
fuck out of here. 112 pounds soaking wet, and I'm supposed to be intimidated by this guy.
No doubt, man. So man, so I know we're into this Dynamite, and what a shitty like follow-up show. Like they didn't do a segment like, oh, we have an injury update on Adam Copeland, FKA Edge. None of that. We don't have
they
any...
don't want that kind of news getting out. They want to make it they want to make sure that it's full steam ahead. Everything else is all great. I don't know why they did not showcase MJF in the first 2 minutes of this goddamn program.
I know, man, especially with
Nor
that
did they advertise him at all.
No.
Crazy.
I'm okay if they don't try and like, I'm okay with that, but just he has to be on the show like first thing. He's got to come out there, like, especially with the pop he got cosplaying as Triple H at the pay-per-view, dude. And then like we're just starting to see though, like, and we talk about it a lot on the show, but Mark Henry confirms he's not renewing his deal as well. So a lot of these people are choosing not to renew their deals, and then people turning on them, like AEW neckbeards, who calls Mark Henry a traitor. Into it. Mark Henry responds, "You confuse critiquing with trashing because you don't know what you're talking about just because you watch something." You know, but it's so funny that they see AEW neckbeards, but then he goes, "I was wondering how you could misspell such a simple word." He realizes he got worked. That's hilarious. I'm gonna like that shit. And yeah, everybody came to neckbeards' defenses there. And that's
awesome.
He's
got a whole goddamn army, it looks like.
But we're seeing, like, you know, Danhausen and Mark Henry took a picture with Punk, and then they're like, everyone's under the comments like, when are you just gonna release these people? Blah blah blah. And I'm telling you guys, when Edge's deal is up in when did he sign? I think like a year ago now. How long has he been with AEW? 1 year?
Yeah, I'd say.
About a year, not a year. Yeah, like less than a year. So it's like he's signed for I think like 3 years is what it is. So
he showed up in September.
Yeah, so let's say I think he's like two years with an option or something like that. So, which is what Tony Khan always gives people the option. So, you know, when Edge leaves, they're going to turn on him too, and it's sad because look, Edge gave his knee for this goddamn business and this goddamn company. He broke his goddamn tibia, and I don't know, man. Let's is this Wrestling Observer? No, this is PW Insider says there was reportedly a rumor within WWE at Monday Night Raw last night that Adam Copeland had broken his leg upon landing his insane dive off the top of the barbed wire steel cage at AEW Double or Nothing. So people in WWE checking in on Edge. Good people. In AEW, however, there is concern that Copeland had instead suffered a knee injury. So the people in WWE knew that he broke his fucking leg, and the people in AEW just thought he had a knee injury. But there's So who did he call in WWE?
Probably a whole bunch of people, but we know one thing is for sure, that he doesn't have too many friends in AEW, or they're not, you know, they don't hang around him at all, because I'm sure he would have told them if they'd asked. They probably just went off speculation and hearsay and innuendo and gossip, as they probably normally do.
Like, I swear I'm the only person who's pointing this out to. Like, wait, so because Raj Giri goes, Adam Copeland revealed that he suffered a broken tibia that will require surgery. Will likely put him out for 4 to 6 months. So, like, he needs fucking surgery as a broken tibia. But WWE early on, this was right away the next morning. People in WWE knew what the injury was before people in AEW did, or were they just trying to cover it up, like you were saying? Like, they don't want that news to get out, as you said before. Awful. Like, isn't that weird? Am I the only one who caught this? Like, that's weird shit.
In a land of NDAs, you know, AEW. I mean, my goodness.
Ooh. So here's the spot. You guys want to see the spot? Let's try not to get Don Stevens for it, but here's the spot as Don Callis gets booed and Orange Cassidy comes out. Evil Cassidy, perfect form Cassidy.
Right.
Like, Jesus Christ, I haven't cared about one thing on this show yet. Phil Marks bookmarks are way more popping. So, and Awful's way more bubbling than this show. So anyways, let's watch the spot. I'm gonna get Don Stevens. Here he is. He's tied up in barbed wire on the table. Malachi Black.
I guess
we'll try to talk. We'll try to talk over it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna scrub through it too and pause. Here, I'm gonna mute it as well so they don't pull me for noise. So here he climbs.
So here's
up
50-year-old Edge.
I'll just skip back and forth so it kind of fucking throws off the So I don't want to get Steven. So he's like and I'm just sitting there going, please don't die. Please don't die.
I thought he
And
was going to do a splash, which would have been the safer thing to do, but
me too. Look
but
how
it's just
high
like
up
Marv
that is.
said. He had second thoughts at the second he jumped.
Oh man.
And there it is right there. The tear, the break, the
And
agony.
when we were watching this live, I was like, damn, I hope Edge is okay. And he was limping after it the whole time. And I was like, I hope he's okay,
He
because have
couldn't
you
put
ever
any
jumped out of
weight
a
on
tree or some shit? Like I told a story about how a girl chased me up a tree trying to kiss me and I jumped out of it trying to get away from her. And like I did
you
the
should have
same
never
shit.
said
Like I
anything
didn't break
like
a
that
bone,
near
but,
me.
like, I was all fucked up, man. Yeah, never me.
Yeah,
they just brought out
me.
Orange Cassidy at 9. Oh my god.
We're gonna talk about that tree girl story.
It could never be you, hey? Awful. Never running away from a lady chasing up a tree. Here we go. No! Jesus.
Yep. We don't know what's the louder snap, his leg or the table.
So like, and then WWE knows that he's broken up. AEW's like, oh no, he's great, he's fine. And then here's Adam Copeland.
Hey everybody. Oh Lord. There's no filters that can help this thing. I look like
I'm at my grandma's house.
Anyway.
Oh, my grandma's
Double or nothing. Flew back yesterday. Malachi Black. Dude's an animal. All of the house black. They're just really, really, really damn good. And as you're about to find out in this video, I guess the house always does win because I gained 2 new friends. I don't really like them. They're kind of like those buddies that just annoy you. But
could you imagine Dusty Rhodes or fucking Jerry Lawler or Stone Cold Steve Austin talking like this right after an injury? Like this is what I hate about pro wrestling. It's just like, oh, what we do is a side play. This is real life. You know what? The guys I worked with last night, they're really great. They broke my leg and blah, 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 blah. Come on, guys. This shit is retarded. Edge, I don't know what to say about you, bro. You don't know anything about your business. Like, you want to hold this up to kayfabe. Like, when I get my fucking leg attached back to my body, I'm coming after you, brother.
Yeah,
nothing like that.
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, Awful.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean,
Jesus.
goddamn.
Oh man, yeah, everyone's thirsting over Stat. Yeah, she is fine like wine. Fuck, I've been saying it since day one. I've always liked her. She learned how to wrestle from watching YouTube moves. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
Trent is back out to beat up Cassidy, so their match. Yeah, I'm trying to show all the members chats there. Oh, a blood angle. We got a blood angle on Cassidy. Yeah, and Edge is sitting at home. He's injured. I'm so glad that Cassidy's here and Edge is at home with a broken leg and can't work, can't do TV. He's got a broken fucking leg, and Cassidy gets all this precious TV time. I'm so happy.
Rhodium buddy or something.
Who's this guy putting the knuckles to Orange Cassidy?
Trent Beretta. His former
he throws a hell of a punch. I will say that.
Dude, Trent and Rocky Romero
got some good work punches there.
Trent and Rocky Romero used to be tag partners in New Japan, and they were awesome. And Trent,
he must have heard me because he's throwing them again.
Yeah, I've been putting him over for a long time, but like I was like, he needs to get away from the best friend. So this is good that they're doing something.
Never mind. He's trying to open him up.
Yeah. I like that they're doing something like different with him finally. Mm-hmm. And hopefully something comes of this. I think maybe this is. I just don't like Orange Cassidy anymore. I'm just over.
Imagine if they tried to make Trent Beretta 2 years ago. That's what I'm saying. Like, everything is almost a little bit too little, too late at this point.
Yeah,
you know, you could have made this guy 2 years ago. You could have done this angle 2 years ago. Why you kept it in place for so goddamn long, thinking that these guys were ratings? You know, no, they're not ratings. They're ratings killers. No. Tomorrow we'll show that.
And what Tony Khan could have did, see, Orange Cassidy, if they had built a cruiserweight division around him, it would have been brilliant. I truly believe that. It would have worked, man. It would have, because that's where you can get away with him.
Cruiserweight divisions worked only one time, and that was with WCW.
It could work again, bro. No. Here's the thing. When WWE did the Cruiserweight Classic, that shit worked again. But here's the thing. Vince, so then it worked for Triple H booking it really well. And then Vince went, yeah, let's do that up here. Let me give 205 Live. Like, that's an awful name for a fucking show. That whole premise, the way Vince did it was terrible. And it just went to complete shit under Vince's guys. But if you had have let Triple H book that same, like, carry on the Cruiserweight Classic shit into, he would have booked that way better. I absolutely, I'm super confident of that. But too bad Vince was in the way, you know? The same way Tony Khan's in the way of AEW. Cruiserweights can work, bro. Japan's done it for years. Mexico's done it for years. The weight
but there's a rotating door with the cruiserweights in Japan. In the WWE or in AEW, it's going to be a static amount. It's going to be a finite amount of guys, and you're going to speed run through all the matches. And what will you have? A dead product. Just like all the other cruiserweight.
That's what you do what WCW did, though. That's when you get away with rotating in, like, here's someone from CMLL. Like, hey, we love Commander. He's going viral on the internet for doing these spots. Okay, he can come fight.
You can't rotate in WWE. You got to be contracted. They're not sending me anywhere else.
But here's the thing, and thank you. See, guys, that's why you listen to PWT. That's the through line of the show with NXT and Ethan Page and TNA. Possibly we're going to see rotating using NXT and TNA as like a system of where you can rotate people. What did Naomi do? She walked out. She just ran the TNA territory for 9 months and then came back to WWE. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
right.
And now look at her. She's fresh again. She's interesting again. People like to see. So Jordan Grace, of course, like Trinity Fatu is going to go by Naomi. They spent years marketing her as that when she comes back to WWE. But when Natty Neidhart goes over to TNA, they're not going to like not let her use her name. The same way Jordan Grace is Jordan Grace and has her same theme music across both companies. When they send NXT people over to TNA, which they will, or someone like Natty, they'll just use their WWE music and gimmick and fucking name and all of that as well. So we're gonna see that where people, I think NXT, we're not gonna see like main roster, we're gonna rotate in fucking the Kota Ibushi, you're getting rotated in, like that's not gonna happen. But what we will see is like in NXT, we have seen it in the past when Triple H was like, you guys remember when Jushin Liger wrestled Tyler Breeze out of nowhere and just did William Regal solid? You know what I mean? Like that shit can happen and it can work, and NXT and TNA are the places to do it. We have the TBS Championship, Mercedes Moné taking on Sky Blue. And I don't know, man. Mercedes Moné fucking sucks in
She's coming down to the ring on my little viewfinder.
I got Sky Blue coming down to the ring right now, so I'm a little bit ahead of you by a minute or two.
Boy, a lot of Asian influence in Mercedes Moné's outfit.
Yeah, she loves manga.
So she doesn't know what the fuck she is.
Nah, she likes money, and she's heels on the
put
heels.
Nipples on her outfit. That's great.
Yeah, that was very Val Kilmer and Batman of her. I think that was the one, right, with the nipples. Guys, 11 of you hit like. There's been like almost 200 of you in here. 11 of you hit like. Please and thank you. We're gonna see what Mercedes does on TV with Sky Blue. We'll see if this pops a rating. Oh yeah, it'll be great. The Fast Nationals, Alfred Kanu on the demographic. Fuck you guys. Sorry. Here's what else Edge had to say as Mercedes takes Sky Blue corner to corner.
I've been feeling really good lately. Been having so much fun in the ring, and I got cocky, I guess is what it really boils down to. And I'm probably a narcissist and egomaniac, and I'll unpack that one day.
If you're probably you are.
My brain forgets what my body always seems to remember a little late is that I'm 50, and
that place had 7,000 people. Imagine if it was 40,000 people. That motherfucker would have jumped off the rafters.
Yeah, he would have let them hang him like fucking upside down like Darby. Dude, that was crazy. They did that with Martha Hart in the building too.
Hey. Nobody's got any quality control over there. That script wasn't written up until the minute that pay-per-view started.
Yeah, well, that's what we're going to talk about in a moment here, because basically, I don't know. Edge is just saying some silly shit. I mean, I don't really. They're just going to turn on him when he leaves, is what I'm getting at. And he gave his goddamn leg for this company, jumping off a fucking some shit he never even needed to do. No one asked him to do this. He gave them a moment. You know what I mean? And I don't know, dude. We're seeing Monet like over jumping her Meteora on Sky Blue to the outside of the ring, and if it's me, I'm just giving Monet a quick win over Sky Blue. Like, I'm not letting this be a drawn-out 20-minute banger. Like, this is why wrestlers are getting hurt, and it's sad because Copeland's had only a handful of matches, and people are like, oh, Edge isn't losing. He hasn't lost to anyone. Well, nor should he. Who the fuck is he going to lose? Daniel Garcia?
Right.
That's who they've been putting him against. Like, who's he lose to? You know what I mean? He should be beating everybody. Yeah, I just can't wait till one day things will be right and Edge will be back in the WWE where he doesn't have to break his goddamn tibia to get a point across.
Well, let's not see him in a ring again, hopefully.
Well, I'm okay. He's still working good, man. It's just that he got hurt because he's jumping off a fucking cage. He doesn't need to be jumping off a cage is like what I'm getting at, dude. And it's like, okay, that like, I'm okay. Like he's a grown ass man. He can make his own choices for millions of dollars. I'd jump off a cage too. Do you know what I mean? So, but what I'm getting at is like, he doesn't need that. It's not like he needs it, right? He already has millions. He's already done it. He obviously loves pro wrestling and he wants to contribute to AEW in the best way he can. He's obviously still sticking. He's obviously telling them like, no, I'm not losing that. Like there's nobody he's come across yet where he's like, yeah, I'll put this guy over. And the thing is with Tony Khan is we saw it. He booked Sting. And let's say it's all Tony Khan's idea. He booked Sting to go absolutely undefeated. And he didn't even put Darby over on Sting, which was the end to that story. You know what I mean? Like Sting couldn't put one guy over where it would have meant some Wardlow or someone where it was like, holy shit, like anything. So is the same thing going to happen with Edge? Edge is just going to leave undefeated because Tony loves him so much. It's like him playing him in his fucking universe mode. It's so silly. And yeah, like, I don't know.
What's wrong with Edge working safe though? Like, what's the need of going up to the top of the? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, do these guys forget the basics when they go to that company? Like, hey, man, let's work a style that brings people into the building. And that doesn't involve, goddamn. I understand the dynamics of the match, but I mean, to go to the top of the cage and to not know what you're doing once you get up there, so that you just,
I think he knew what he was doing. I think he just second guessed, like you said, because like, goddamn, when's the last time he climbed up a ladder in a TLC match? Like Edge used to do that shit, like whatever, he'd do that shit on a Tuesday, on a taboo Tuesday. He'd jump off a fucking
He would have been forgiven if he did the top rope. He would have been forgiven.
Oh, exactly. It's I don't know, man. And just that little flimsy ass table, and then you get on top of that cage. Then there's that whole big platform up there. It seems like as well, like that. So I don't know. John JID for $5. Thank you. Round of applause, John JID. Thank you. Awful. I had John JID join me on the show again, like, and me and him just kicked it for a little bit, and it was fun, man. It was good. He's a youngster. He's learning from old grizzled vets like us. And he says Mercedes ring gear and entrance is more interesting than her wrestling. Some stuff is smooth, but a lot of it's just normal or off a little bit. Yeah, she had way better chemistry with Willow. And look, they're going through commercial breaks.
But they probably practiced that match day in and day out.
And like, what does this match prove by letting Sky Blue take her to the limit like this? It just undermines Willow's performance. It undermines Mercedes. It's what we see time and time and time again. And it's just not.
They think that is part of the match in itself. Like, it's got to be 40-60 or 50-50. That way it looks competitive. That way it gets people into the match. No, that's not what gets people into the match. What gets people into the match is the fact that in the body of the story, who's the people that we should be cheering for? Who's the person that we should be booing? There should be a clear distinction, and that seems to be lost in today's wrestling. It's sad. And it's unbelievable.
What do you say to the people? What do you say to the people who go, "Oh, heels and faces don't matter. It's new."
Okay, well, look at any successful wrestling company who will not be named by me that uses that dynamic and becomes a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. And people who emulate that formula seem to do pretty well on the independent circuit as well. So, the way to, it is storytelling, but that's what this business is all about. It's about working the people. On. Yeah, it's about
for hundreds of years, dude.
For hundreds of years.
Yeah, dude. It's so funny.
The outcome of Hackenschmidt and Gotch was predetermined. Okay.
Oh man, and it's just so funny how dude. I'm not saying okay, you agree, right? Let's say Will Ospreay worked, did his thing, and then he finishes the match with a 630 flip. Like, you're not against a 630 flip, right? Awful. You're just against how they base everything around that, essentially. Like, it's just, the athletic maneuvers you can do is what they think gives them the right to shit on the WWE. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get what it's about.
Yeah, because they have a harder, I don't even know what the fuck this means, but they have a harder work rate. And see, whatever you use that fucking buzzword, which doesn't mean a goddamn thing, because they're not working anybody into the arena. They're not working any more ticket sales, for their payroll.
They're not doing working by selling moves and shit. That's half of the job. The big part of the job is the pacing and the selling, and it's one of the most difficult aspects. And they just eliminate that part and talk about work rate, bitch. Selling and timing and knowing when to read the crowd and shit. That to me is better work than you can hit the ropes and space plancha over the shit. Mercedes wins. With that new finish,
and then right before you do a move, after you sell, you're all tired, but you suddenly get this burst of energy to spring to the ropes and do your big fucking flippy flop move.
I mean, awful. Stephanie Vaquer,
okay,
who I've never heard of, from CMLL, comes out with her belt, and she's gonna challenge Mercedes Moné. Thank you so much for the super chat, John JID. But Conan. Do you know who she is?
Nope.
And Mercedes Moné is going to challenge the CMLL women's wrestler, who's the New Japan Strong women's champion.
This is great.
Tony's dude. Tony got on the phone. He's like, I need some talent. No, I'm just kidding. Because I think he does AAA, but CMLL. So this woman, whatever her name is, that woman just came out. I've never seen her in my life. Chat.
Okay.
Fill me in on her. Send me a Wikipedia link or something. What was her name? Something Vasquez or Vascar or something. And she came out. So she's a CMLL wrestler who comes
dragging
out with
her belt.
Listen, she's a CMLL wrestler with a New Japan title who walks out on AEW and challenges the TBS champion, who's a former WWE superstar.
And no one gives a shit.
What the fuck? This is what you did with Mercedes?
This girl is dressed like a receptionist out here.
Holy shit. It should be
Did she come from the office?
Hey, Tony, they're about to get rid of your TV deal. If I was you, I'm doing a unification bout tomorrow between Tony Storm and fucking Sasha Banks, trying to get a goddamn rating, and I'm merging those belts, and I'm getting rid of that TBS belt. What the fuck, man? You mean to tell me Saraya, there's no name, you couldn't do nothing? Athena, you couldn't get nothing. You get this girl nobody's fucking heard of. You mean Britt Baker couldn't come back to fight fucking Mercedes? Nothing.
Where is Britt Baker anyway?
Everyone's when they're like Mercedes coming to AEW, everyone starts fantasy mark booking their fucking Mercedes versus Willow, Mercedes versus Shida, Mercedes versus fucking Hayter, Mercedes versus Saraya, Mercedes versus fucking all these fucking names. And who is she challenging? Some fucking girl from CMLL who's a New Japan champion. That's who she's fighting. Not Statlander, not none of the girls that you have. No,
Not a
no,
rematch with Willow.
Bro, everyone's fantasy mark booking. Oh, her versus Baker, her versus Athena, her versus all these girls. Mariah May, her versus Mina Shirakawa. All these names, you know, fucking Riho versus fucking Mercedes. You're not getting none of that. Nope. Sorry, guys. You guys are getting you're getting her versus lady who I'm sure is a tremendous athlete and pro wrestler, but CMLL person from New Japan fighting in AEW. Oh man.
What's the story? What's the story?
What's the point?
What would make us care about this match? Is it because
she has a
that
belt
one
and
half
is
of the
from
opponents
CMLL.
is Mercedes Moné? I mean, my goodness.
She has a belt and is from CMLL. Awful. Didn't you hear it? Don't you know?
Right.
Mercedes ring gear and entrance is the more John JD. Sorry, I already read that one. Scully Vibes for $2 says, who the hell is Stephanie Wagner? A Kurt Wagner sister from the
She's the receptionist for Comcast. I mean, that's what she looked like.
Oh my god. Thank you, Scully Vibes. I watch Mexican wrestling. I don't know who this lady is. You know what, dude? Thank you, John JID.
Dummy. Yeah.
This has to be one of the just most hilarious things. Like, you mean to tell me they couldn't even do like Page and Mercedes, who've like at least touched in the past and like have wrestled each other before? Like, you're telling me that wouldn't like at least pique some intrigue with both of their social followings and stuff? And like, you couldn't have done anything. You're already, Tony, man, it's because this is what he's doing. He's paying Mercedes millions of dollars for her to go to his company and have the matches she was going to have, regardless of if she signed to AEW or not. And she just wanted to go wrestle like Stardom people and all of that sort of thing. And this is just hilarious. This is the most AEW shit of all time. And then she holds up that strong belt and it's like, no one cares. Who gives a fuck? Like, what is that belt? No one's ever. Is that the Owen Hart belt, Tony?
Didn't give her a microphone. Didn't give her an introduction. Just threw her right the fuck out there. Like, you got this, girl. You got this. And she went out there and it was like a fart.
Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. That shit's hilarious. Awful. You're hilarious. And not a good morning for some people. Awful. Here's a little video. Did you put this together, my friend?
Of course I did.
Excellent. So here we go. Not a good morning for some people. Awful. You're gonna have to. I got a new thing. Oh yeah, guys, I didn't talk about it. But like I'm rolling out a bunch. There's gonna be like new shit at the starts of the intros, like leading into the live shows and all of that, and the outros. Okay. I'm gonna have like visuals that go into it, and you, my good friend, should contribute something like that, like a 20-second little something. Or if you have like an old bit, you're like, this was great, you should give it to me and I'll lump it in. It's like I have this whole concept. We'll DM about it, but
yeah, definitely.
If you're interested, and then it'll say Awful Wrestling right there in front of every fucking live show I do, but yeah, I mean, right? I mean, you're always here, dude. You're always hanging out with us too. So I mean, I have no problem doing it. But anyways, here's a little bit you put together, and this has to do with what we're going to talk about in a bit when we play our flutes and laugh at Dave Meltzer. So here's Awful's little they're running a package on MJF, mind you guys, over here on AEW. So they do a vignette for a guy we all know who the fuck he is already.
Right.
Instead of letting him just come out and have a microphone and say his piece, because we've all been waiting to see him again forever. They play him a vignette, but Megan Bain, we just see her doing moves to chicks in Japan or whatever. Craziness. Anyways, here's Awful's edit from yesterday.
Closing time. You don't have to go home.
Oh my God!
Stay here.
Oh man, that's so funny. Dude, I love that.
I'm sure that's how a lot of people were.
Yeah, dude, and you know you've been at a bar too long when it starts playing that song for real.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh shit.
That comes on right after American Girl.
So yeah, and just American Girl. Yeah. And so just to touch on that, it's reported by Wrestle Talk TV that Tony Khan is reportedly disappointed with the TV deal offered by Warner Bros. Discovery, according to Puck, whatever Puck is, Matthew Baloney. Both WBD CEO David Zaslav and TNT Sports head Louis Silberwasser. What the fuck? Louis Silberwasser. Okay.
They're everywhere.
Shout him
Go
out.
ahead.
Do both reportedly want to retain AEW on the network, with the network also keen to add AEW pay-per-views to their Max streaming service, a la Peacock, if you will. I don't know. It's not looking too good, and I do believe this to be true. Now, a lot of people awful are saying, hey, well, I mean, no, I think that they are interested, and here's the little bit of, not little bit, but, Dose is like, no, it'll be more like 20, 25 million, not these numbers other people are throwing out. Who knows if he's right? Who knows who's right? But let's say they're like, I feel like it's believable that WBD's like, here's money, and yeah, we'll take all your shit. Here's our idea. And Tony Khan's like, I'm not down with, I am disappointed. I want more money than that. And I thought, this, I do believe this, as far as like he would be disappointed. Now, we have a funny quote in a bit from Wrestling Observer where they try and refute this, and they go, well, Tony, let's talk about, they go, he wasn't disappointed, he was upset or whatever. It's like, what the fuck? You guys are just,
he was morose.
Yeah. He wasn't pleased.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. So yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that in a minute, but people are saying, oh, well, with the AEW deal, I mean, pardon me, the NBA, like TNT lost NBA, so they thought that there would be, because I'm like, I tweeted out, I X'd out, I'm like, how the fuck did Tony think, or anyone think that losing, because apparently it's reported that Tony thought that them losing, TNT losing NBA would mean that AEW would get more money and shit. And it's like, that's not how this works. Like, they're not gonna, like, AEW is just a TV show. It's not a fucking sports thing with a built-in audience. All of these people, millions of people will come watch. Like, you don't get it. They're not just going to.
It didn't come with a following.
Yeah, like
it didn't come with the following.
Exactly. Like, they would just stick fucking Big Bang Theory reruns in there if that they were just trying to replace it with any old show. And I'm sorry, but AEW's just any old show. They don't do house shows. They don't train wrestlers. They're not produced. They're not. They don't have AEW films. They barely even have a fucking merch store. They don't even promote their
It's
AEW
as I've
shop.
always said, Phil. It's as I've always said. Tony Khan thinks he's got a wrestling company on television when he's actually supposed to be running a television show that features wrestling. And that's where he's always going to get this thing mixed up each and every week that he's on the air.
And it's the Young Bucks wearing their little baby shoes. The little baby super kick shoes.
Oh man,
but yeah, people, the IWC, man, you guys don't get it. Like, and apparently Tony Khan and Meltzer and these guys and his lawyers or whoever don't get that either. That you can't fucking ask for they're not going to increase AEW so they keep getting those shit ratings just because they have more money to spend.
Right.
Like, it's so stupid. It's like, Jesus, they're going to obviously lowball AEW because they can, and they're clearly
and it's just
lost
like
the NBA, and they're trying to nickel and dime right now. Like, come on.
It's just like a lot of people have said on Twitter. These guys, WDB has to justify their spending to shareholders and stockholders. I mean, even though AEW is a private company, they're going to want to know, like, what's its value to us, and what do you think they're going to look at? They're going to look at the monetary value of the thing. They're going to look at costs, expenditures, and then do the same thing that Brandon Thurston did, but only better. And then they're going to look at the ratings, and they're going to be like, yeah, this thing's we have a 10-year trend, and it doesn't look like it's going up anytime soon. You've exhausted all your superstars. It's over. This is your last card, MJF. Who else is going to that company now that it's in the shambles that it's in and want to be there for the next 3 goddamn years?
Oh man, yeah. You summated it there really well, dude. And yeah, sorry, I'm listening to the Bucks here, guys. So we're listening to the Young Bucks. Here,
Turn it
I'll
up
pull
for the fans at home.
Yeah, for the good PWT listeners, the PWT universe, if you will. Here, I'll get this card on the screen here. So here you are, Awful Wrestling as well. No advert for MJF's Dynamite return. AEW's marketing team sleeps at work. And I bookmarked that.
I know they do.
Yeah, here's your graphic. That so where's this gauntlet? This has got to be the main event, correct? And yeah, man, thank you guys. 200 of you guys watching, like on and off, and over 100 likes. So I'll stop bugging you, but there is 200 watching. So if you haven't hit the like or subscribe, please consider doing that. I'd appreciate it a lot. We're almost at 3.3K on the Pro Wrestling Clips channel, and we're on the road to 1K. I think we're at like 800 almost on the other channel. We're on the road to 1K. It's at Pro Wrestling Times. The links are all below. And if you're new here, whatever, consider joining the Discord. If you like hanging out in the chat here, we're all in the Discord too, chilling, chopping it up. And yeah, consider becoming a member. It's like 99 cents Canadian. That's like, what is that? What is that in American right now? Awful, like 60 cents? What is that?
Yeah, 42 cents.
Yeah, there you go, dude.
Know.
So it's it's
why
some
is Jack Perry
though.
coming down the ring and he's not selling his toes at all or his feet? Like these guys play it so these guys play it so cool that they don't even know how to work an angle where it's just like, all right, if you guys want to be comedians, at least play up the idea that this guy's got both of his feet burned and do something along the lines with like, give me a break. Like these guys are just so shallow when they're thinking. They don't know how to think creatively. I know there's a lot of people in the chat. I know you're kind of creative, Phil, kind of, but there, there is a creative flair that comes with your work, and the Young Bucks just don't have that creative flair. Tony Khan doesn't have that creative flair. Nobody in the back had that creative flair. Maybe CM Punk could have gotten them there, but Cody Rhodes was about to get them there. But whatever happened there. And that's terrible writing, creative writing on the part of the Young Bucks. I'm not going to blame Tony Khan because the Young Bucks, I'm sure, pitched this bullshit.
And now there's Marks chanting, "You deserve it," for Okada getting a car. Yeah, they gave him a car. Nobody wears Reeboks anymore. Yeah, dude, UFC got rid of Reebok for Venom. Just like an obscure MMA brand. You know what I mean?
Coming a lot cheaper and probably have better marketing.
Yeah, and we talked about it, man. Check out Pro Wrestle Clips. We talked about so there's a bunch of marks going, oh, the fucking Bloodline 12s aren't Roman Reigns shoes, stupid. Bloodlines are already a Nike. No, you guys are dumb. You guys are fucking dumb. Where's my dummies?
Dummy, yeah.
Yeah, the Bloodline 12s, I may have addressed this already on a live stream, but the Bloodline 12s were made in honor, like for Roman, and they gave him his own little Jordan clothing line. The Bloodline series started in 2019, Nike and shit. Yeah, but yeah, we covered the whole shoe thing. They are all cheering Okada's new car.
Why aren't these guys showing up in shirts and ties? That's the other thing. I'm sorry, like the whole Miami Vice look from the fucking 80s is just not working. They all need to be in suit and ties. They need to look like $1 million out there. Again, presentation sucks in this company.
Yeah, man. It's so they're just, everyone predicted it. They're just going to try and hand the title to Jack Perry, and Chris Daniels, I guess, is an authority figure.
Daniels
even
looks
though
like
he wrestled on
dresses like an IT tech.
Yeah. Yeah. He wrestled on Collision with Matt Sydal like 2 weeks ago or a week ago. Now he's out here like he's the commissioner on behalf of Tony Khan.
He looks like a science teacher. And now the elements.
Yeah, where's Jericho? Hey, I thought the Jericho segment ended already.
What's he saying there, Phil?
There's going to be
a tournament?
Sorry. Yes. A qualifier for another fucking
yep. By my count, By my count, Phil, that's 24 fucking Damn, what was my calculations? I'll have it in a tweet tomorrow, but it'll be accurate. But yeah, it's a lot of
our
fucking
favorite
tournaments in a short amount of time.
Caster, bro, the acclaimed, our
Oh
favorite.
God,
Yes, I can't wait to argue with you after this one. Here we go.
Pull up your pants, Phil.
Yeah. Oh, so they just have Daniel. Okay, so it's just like a trios. Man, this shit's fucking stupid. But yo, Max Caster looks rippied. He's looking ripped, dude. So the acclaimed are gonna fight the Bucks and Jack Perry or Okada over the who gets the to qualify for the TNT championship or something.
What?
What the fuck is this show, dude?
What's
what is
happening?
Yo, what am I missing? Hold on.
Look at the size of Billy Gunn. That's ridiculous.
What's this like whole trio scenario that's going on over the fate of the TNT title? And why is Danielson allowed to throw weight around? Tony Khan appointed me the... Why doesn't Tony Khan just fire the executive vice presidents? Oh, I can't get out of the contract. You got out of Punk's contract, you little motherfucker.
Here's Swervy same face. He's got no identity, man. He really doesn't.
You know what? Marty McFlyer, 2-time Grammy Award winner, who will be back on the show soon, guys. He's just busy. He's on the show a lot, and he shits on Swerve all the time.
He's got, like the kids say, no riz.
No riz. I like Swerve, man.
Please don't smile, Swerve. Jesus Christ.
Nah, I think he can. They're just not giving him a goddamn enough, and they're not. Someone's got to tell him, no, go full baby face. Like, don't snip off Luchasaurus's hair.
You know what?
That's what a heel does, is cut someone's hair.
Swerve needs to do all of his promos at Hood gas stations. That would kind of be like, okay, I see, we're right next to like some sort of like, corner bar. Look at my man, Prince Nana. Why does he look more like a star than Swerve? How about that? Let's talk about that for a moment. He looks more interesting than Swerve.
Yeah, dude. He wrestled in the WWF a long time ago, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, he did, man. He was on like Sunday Night Heat and shit like that.
Well, he knows how to keep it in gimmick.
Yeah, man. He's really good. He brings a lot to I've said it a million times. I'll fantasy mark book it again right now. Let me get my X-Files, guys. The faction is you put Swerve with Will Hobbs, with that Harley Cameron girl who sings and raps, and Prince Nana, and that's the faction right there. Why is Swerve wearing eyeshadow? I don't know, dude. He's trying to look like a rock star.
Oh, is that the look?
I guess. I don't know, man. That's why people do it, right?
Phil, do you remember that one? Do you remember that one Dynamite? I don't know. It was probably like 3 or 4 months back, where Swerve Strickland, he showed up. He looked like he got beat up. His eyes were dark as hell. And then I was just like, on second thought, he might just be bombed out of his mind. But then somebody told me like he's got like some sort of malady going on that I don't know about. I don't know, but like the eyeliner thing and the black eye thing, I don't know what's going on with his eyeballs, but it goes part and parcel with the whole same face look. Like he doesn't look mean, he doesn't look happy, he just looks. You know what I mean?
He just looks like a guy.
He
like
just
a
looks.
thing.
Yeah. I mean, really. You know, and he obviously doesn't hit the gym.
You don't think, man? He put on like 30 fucking pounds.
Okay, and it's all around his waist area.
You're talking about Swerve still, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about Swerve.
Okay,
Yep.
Good. Everyone was like, he's too small to be world champ. So he bulked up like 20, 30 pounds, dude.
Okay, it's not in his arms, it's not in his shoulders, it's right around that gut section, it's right around that midsection.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so what else is left? The gauntlet match, I guess. So what does this entail? Remember when they out of nowhere just shoehorned in that like triple threat or whatever gauntlet where it was like a Royal Rumble out of nowhere at Daly's place or whatever? Harley Cameron, hold on. Harley Cameron's husband is coming in July after his WWE release, and she'll be with him. You're talking shit, sir. No, just kidding. I don't know. I don't know who her husband is. I didn't know anything about that. Awful is right. He just kind of looks that 1,000-mile stare is just right through you. John JID agrees with you.
Of course he does. I'm right. No, I can't do the evil dose thing. I mean, I can't do the overly arrogant lawyer gimmick. So yeah. No, but it's true. I mean, if you look closely enough, you'll see all these, these tiny little cuts in the fabric of AEW. It's just one of those things. Like, nobody knows how to sell. It's about the face in professional wrestling. Do you look like you're in agony? Are you working from underneath? That's the other thing I was going to say that earlier about Will Ospreay. He doesn't know how to work from underneath. He is not a sympathetic he's not a sympathetic baby face right now. He's trying to be like one of them cool, slick baby faces, and it's just not working for him. He needs to start working from underneath. But again, he's got to work bigger guys. He can't be doing this shit with a guy like who I'm seeing on the screen now. Who is this guy, Roosh or whatever? But
I love Roosh. He beats
like
the shit out of people. He's a real dude. But he just calls out MJF so he can job to MJF. It's real stupid. Awful booking. But dude, Juice Robinson's back. The Bang Bang Gang, daddy. We got Jay White here. We're gonna end this poll, I guess, but 89% of y'all said you weren't enjoying Dynamite so far. Hopefully it picks up now with the Bang Bang Gang here. Juice is back.
Are you serious? Are they main event?
They're in the gauntlet. I don't know. Jay's in it. I guess it's Jay White who's in it. I don't know. I just am happy Juice is back. Give him a new segment, Swerve Stoop. Hey, man, that ain't even a bad idea right there. Let's give that a round of applause for all Jake. That ain't entire Swerve Stoop, where he's just like posted up. Weren't they trying to do that with Powerhouse Hobbs, where they were trying to like send him back to like his old hood and shit, and he was like walking in the corners, the bodega, and like, and it's like, yo, this is the
They
Book
didn't
of
keep it up,
Hobbs
did they?
No, they didn't, and that was really good shit. I mean, do something
See?
like that with Swerve. That could work, and that could make him more of a sympathetic figure as well. Seeing like where he came up with or whatever. Where like
no, don't do that. Don't do. You do that later. Like, I don't think First off, I don't think he should be a babyface. I think it should be if anything, a tweener. But he's not. If he's trying to go that cool route, okay, play the tweener role. If you're trying to be a babyface, don't do the hood trauma story just yet. Do that a little bit later. Establish that you're a hood star or whatever the fuck you want to be or whatever you're trying to be. Establish that first, and then when the chips are down or you've got that one opponent or whatever, super heel, whatever, that's when you bring up the whole story, the new layer of character development for him.
So earlier in the show, we talked about how HBK is killing it, and he brought in Sexy Red, and NXT was killing it, and the women division is killing it, and Jordan Grace is there, and TNA knockouts, all that's killing it. And then somebody just pointed out in chat that AEW Dynamite tonight cut out the Mariah May versus Saraya match. It seems like. All the women's wrestling. Oh, there, Dave Meltzer defending. Oh, there was 4 women featured on Double or Nothing, and there's 4 women on the Saudi Arabia WWE show with only 6 matches. And there was actually
there were 4 women featured tonight. They just happened to be 2 two Sky Blues and 2 Mercedes Monets. There you go. You're 4 women.
Yeah, dude. So it's I don't know. Just they cut Saraya and Mariah May. So there you go, guys. What does Tony value? The same thing as WWE.
There's no way that this goddamn match is the main event. There's no way. Pac versus Jay White. I'm sorry.
What is this fucking dumb? Dude, it's look at this all elite crate with Will Ospreay there, bruv, in his little tracksuit, just holding that little box on the ticker there. No, it's like a gauntlet match. So like whoever gets
So
pinned
this
here,
is
the next guy can
closing out the show.
Yeah, dude. So
Hmm.
like they just cut that women's match entirely, dude.
Because it was probably going to stink up the joint.
Well, why not do Saraya versus fucking? Or I don't know, man. Like you have Mercedes
why
and
do it?
Paige right there, and you don't have fucking.
Again, this also goes to almost confirm the supposed rumor that these shows are written on the fly and all the way almost up until the start of the show.
Right. We're gonna
And
talk about that
so,
very soon.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness gracious. What am I, from the 40s? My goodness gracious. But yeah, I mean, this is what these guys have to deal with on a just one day a week. They go in there and they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. Like you have an entire week to drum up some sort of storyline or to drum up some sort of continuation for your goddamn show, and you have to do it at the very last minute. Oh man, this AEW, it's not too much long for this world.
Yeah, man. And to touch on that, just as far as like the window with the TV deal, the contract negotiations. Oh, look, there's a countdown like the Royal Rumble. This is great. So it's not, oh, you get pinned and you're out. It's just, oh, it's a Royal Rumble is what they're doing on Dynamite with pins, I guess. And is it the first? And this is what it'll be too, to protect everyone, because AEW never does eliminations. It's just the first person to get pinned probably wins the whole goddamn match, which is stupid.
Oh my
That
God.
means we know.
Oh
yeah,
my
like
God.
it's just a dumb rule because like not all the participants could even get in the match, or is it elimination style? You know, like, or if Jay White just pins Mystico right now, former Sin Cara.
Tony Khan, if you're listening right now, here was a simple solution to all of this. It's very simple. It's free advice. Don't showcase the TBS championship or the TNT champion, whatever fucking belt this is. Hold off on this entire thing until you got your cards all in order and then make some sort of pronouncement. But you doing this only a couple days after a pay-per-view, not knowing how to go about doing it, you should have just left this off the entirety of the show. I mean, you didn't have to.
I went on Mark Maron's podcast and I had a soda water and I thought, let me just take this column and
he rushed this
put it
one.
over on this column and then I'll flip it backwards and upside down. And I'm like,
well, let me tell you something, Squeaky Khan. You rushed this one. You absolutely rushed this entire nonsense.
Someone in the LK goes, well, it's definitely not an elimination over the top rope match after dude dies.
But this also says that maybe he didn't have Dynamite fully written. The fact that you were able to put this all together at the last minute means that whatever you had going on either sucked or was just incomplete to begin with.
Yeah, and this is why talent are frustrated, because they're all called to TV and shit when they don't got to be there even. But yeah, Matt Baloney just says about the TV deal. I'm told the exclusive window closes in July, and AEW leader Tony Khan is said to be disappointed with the offer currently on the table. Khan also surely knows that Zaz losing the NBA would give AEW more leverage. So this guy even agreed, it'll surely give them. No, it won't. God damn it. AEW is not the fucking NBA or the NHL or the MLB. It's not even in the same realm, for the love of God. Even though the money to re-up AEW is a mere drop in the NBA bucket. Exactly. It's a mere drop in. If they kept NBA, they would have still offered this little drop to AEW for sure, because they have this number in mind that they think AEW's worth. It's not worth the shit.
I bet you AEW has to hit some benchmarks. I bet you AEW has to hit some benchmarks that Tony knows he can't work out. And my guess, based on nothing, just my guess, is that Tony Khan has been told, like, this contract is canceled anytime. That means we can throw you the fuck off the air if we don't like what we see. How about that? It may not have to do with, it may also have to do with money. I can't discount that, but it may have to do with some parameters that Tony Khan just can't meet. Some benchmarks. Like, dude, if you want to have another 2 years with us, you've got to hit at least 800,000 or more each and every goddamn week.
Well, here's the thing. I know that all WBD wanted, all they wanted from AEW with their first run of shit. So in this run of television, all they wanted from Dynamite. Now, what you're saying, I'm sure it applies to all these shows. Rampage, Collision. They launched a whole show around Punk's gone. So I'm sure there's parameters around it because there's parameters around Collision in the first place. Here's the thing, though. With Dynamite, all they wanted, I know this for sure, was 500,000 live viewers watching Dynamite every Wednesday with the key demo that AEW has. They wanted at least 500 people watching every week. They consider that not like, oh, a big success, but that's just like, that was a parameter, you know, like, okay, there's got to be at least, if you guys can draw 500,000 live viewers on the show on Wednesday nights, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
We're cool with that. So I don't know about Collision and all that shit. And AEW's getting close to that 500 sometimes. You know what I mean? Like when NXT starts beating it, when Tony gave up the CW deal for Ring of Honor, and then you know, NXT is going to go on the CW and they're going to start beating AEW. That's going to be a big slap in the face too. Like that's not going to look good for anything Tony's doing. And now Ospreay's making his way out. Crowd pops, but again, we just saw a gauntlet where he came out as a big surprise. I feel like 2 weeks ago or something. So this is the same shit. You know what I mean? Awful. We're just watching the same shit. Like Tony's got 2 ideas that he does over and over. But
this show was written on the fly.
Yeah,
obviously written on the fly.
This guy
is working on Wednesday after he almost got his neck snapped into on Sunday.
That's true. After he botched on that doomsday device on the outside of the ring. But yeah, so this guy goes on to say, if the window closes without a deal, others could swoop in for those rights, as Comcast has done with the NBA. Extra awkward because WBD has said,
God damn it. Again, that's a comparison to the NBA. What makes people think that any other conglomerate, any other station is going to swoop in on AEW?
This is what I find so funny is that there's rumors that WBD is said to own a stake in the NBA, right? And again, no one's pointing this shit out. Maybe Dose is, and he's just speaking so fucking, you know, speaking so fast and smartly. Is that a word that I don't understand it? We have a New Japan guy coming out now. Shota Umino from New Japan is now coming out to this match. But anyways, though, so here's the thing. WBD is said to own a stake in NBA. Well, there's also rumors that WBD owns a stake in AEW. Well, WBD just lost fucking NBA, so what makes you think they're not willing to lose AEW? Regardless if they own a stake. That's always the excuse. Right. People are like, well, they own a stake in it, so why would they let it go? Well, fucking NBA's gone, and they apparently own a stake in that shit too. So,
and see, sometimes it's not about numbers. Sometimes it's about content. And sometimes it's about content that these executives and their families and their friends and their networks who know about Tony Khan and understand, like, okay, this guy may not be the... You know, these billionaires talk to each other. They're probably like the Shad Khan and his boy. I mean, Jesus Christ, he's giving this kid the world. He don't know shit. But it could be like that in the network television field. I'm guessing, again, you know, I'm just a guy, but at the same time, it's just like you forget about those types of conditions, those considerations. Like, yeah, it may not just be about the numbers. Just it may be like, you know what, we don't want this maudling wrestling program that gets made fun of on a weekly basis to really be a part of our programming anymore. Sure, you got good numbers and everything. You come into work each week, you do your job, but you're just not a good fit for us. How about that?
Yeah, dude. And here's the thing too. Okay, so sorry, I'm just realizing now. So Umino and Ospreay did a bunch of cool moves and shit. That was a sweet little sequence, if you will.
Okay, well, there you go. There's your spot.
Yeah,
hopefully 100,000 people came in to watch it.
So here's the thing, though. This is one pin. So like Ospreay could just win. We don't even know. So when somebody come, like, did they say this is a 10-man? Like, did they tell us how many men are in this match? Because then we know how many people are coming out. Because they're not going to.
The graphics department did not help us out with that.
Yeah, dude, they fucking suck at promoting like even what's going on. Like if I don't know what, like, so okay, it's one pin to a finish though. So if I just pin someone right now, there's what 10 boys in the back who are like, I don't get to come out. Like what?
Oh, by the way, can I make a retraction real quick?
Sure.
I said it might have been on Toonie Talk or it might have been on your show, but I had made the assertion that AEW doesn't really promote their their Dynamite shows locally as best they could. I'm here to stand corrected. Apparently, there is a AEW PR Twitter account that shows, at least for the last 3 months, they have been sending some of their worst professional wrestlers out to local television stations to promote the show. I will say that it's not guys like Chris Jericho or Mercedes Moné or John Moxley. It's guys like goddamn unforgettable, forgettable wrestlers that I couldn't even name to you right now. But at least they're doing that. They should be doing a better job, but bringing in big names. But yeah, I do want to, say apologies for not knowing that information.
Yeah, man. No worries. Yeah, I think that must have been on Toonie Talk. Yeah, I heard you guys. I got home, so I'll be there on Toonie Talk Wrestling, guys, next Tuesday as well. I'll be on that episode from the start of it. I won't tune it. I won't be in there late. Yeah, I'll be from the start. So
okay,
I am now free on Tuesdays. I kept coming in late, and I came in. I was like, you guys were about to end the show, but I heard you shitting on the Double or Nothing card, and I was gonna. I joined in, but Marv in the private chat's like, "Yo, Phil, we're about to wrap up." So I was like,
"Yeah,
okay, all good." I was like, "All good," but I was gonna come in and I was gonna start arguing with you about. I was gonna be like, "No, man, the show was awesome." Like I was gonna start naming all the good shit, and then at the tail end, I was gonna be like, "Nah, but it was actually the shits." I agree with you.
Well, you tell me what was the good shit that what was the good shit that you liked?
I thought, what did I like from it, man? Just they should have chopped out some matches. So like the Ospreay match wasn't like the worst thing ever. He got dropped on his neck and then he wasn't selling it, which really pissed me off. But otherwise, it was like Swerve had a solid match. Floyd Mayweather was in the crowd for him. I was hyped for that. The MJF return was awesome. Huge pops. Mercedes had a really solid match too. I won't even lie. Like she exceeded my expectation. The wrong person won, and it just shows you Tony's such a WWE mark because like, why didn't he let Willow? That's his homegrown talent. She should have won.
You've got a homegrown. You've got a built-in story. The second Monet has her shoulders to the mat, because now if you want to turn her, you can, or if you want to play like, okay, she got me, you can do a best of 3 with Willow Nightingale and then have her obviously lose the next 2. But yeah, once again, this guy is speed running through fucking storylines like a motherfucker.
Yeah, dude. They're doing like Claudio's just big swinging everybody. They're doing is the timer counts down. Guy comes in the ring, gets all his shit in. Timer counts down. Next guy gets in, gets all his shit in. It's like a knockoff version of a Royal Rumble. Bryce Remsburg,
yeah, this is pretty bad.
Him. Bryce is one of the worst refs, man. Him and Aubrey are the two. They just love seeing the spotlight shone on them.
Oh my God.
I don't know though. This is like sports entertaining for sure. But it's the same thing. Guy runs down, gets his shit in. Guy runs down, gets his shit in.
Yeah, but at this time right now, 150,000 people have already clicked off. They haven't come back. Yeah, that's right. I'm making that bold prediction. I'm looking at 7-11 tomorrow. 711,000 people watching this dreck, including us.
So here's Leo Rush, who in Japan is doing a gimmick where he's like, we just covered it on the show, where he's like a demon Finn Balor guy who like spits mist and like is all demonic and has like, he's like wearing these funky robes and all this shit. But now Leo Rush just shows up in like his normal American WWE/AEW gimmick. So now I'm going, what the fuck?
Dummy. Yeah.
Because he's not confident in his gimmick.
What's happening, but I
know
love Leo Rush.
He's not confident.
He's not confident in that gimmick?
No, fuck no.
Oh man.
Put it on national television if you are.
I don't want to believe
Put it on national television if you are.
Talent. But it's just like him getting his shit in. Look, he's just getting his shit in on Claudio. Each person gets their shit in on everyone else. Everyone's just sitting outside the ring forever. I've seen people go through fire tables and get slammed on pucks and kick out, but somehow they're just all powdered outside the ring waiting.
He looks
what I
like a
mean?
boy waiting for an autograph from Claudio. Jesus Christ, the size of these kids, man. I'm telling you. Oh,
Man,
my God. Give me a break.
Damn. And then now Umino and Leo are doing these rope hitting sequences here.
I'm watching him and Claudio right now. Like,
hey, man.
This is retarded. Oh, excuse me. This is ridiculous.
No, dude, don't excuse yourself. Speak your truth, bro. Yeah, I use that meme where like it's this scientist and it's this guy. He's like, we found pure retardium or whatever. Or find us on Rumble, guys. Orange Cassidy, who is all beat up, is now coming out. Why? You have 800 guys in the back who aren't being used, and they're signing to NXT. Use one of them.
I can't believe it. They've
Where's
given
Ricky
up on
Starks?
the final segment of this show.
God.
They've given up. This is throw everything to the wall booking right here. This is just get everyone out there, get everyone who's in the locker room.
Why couldn't you have 800 guys signed to this company? Like, this is just, hey, Claudio, you can take everyone's moves and can throw everyone. You're the strongest guy who's in shape on the show, right? Yeah. Okay, everyone's going to do their shit to you, and you're going to just throw them around, and then the next guy will
Orange
come out and do their
Cassidy.
shit to you.
How big is Orange Cassidy? Like 135? He looks like an Ocean City lifeguard. This guy makes no sense to me.
He looks like a fucking background character on Stranger Things, dude.
Yeah, like what the hell?
He looks like he's gonna be on fucking Cobra Kai next week.
Yeah. Help you with your groceries, ma'am?
Yeah. He looks like a fucking guy who got turned down to be in the fucking OC as the pool boy. Fucking One Tree Hill looking ass.
Unbelievable.
Gilmore Girls boyfriend looking ass motherfucker. Oh man.
I can't believe this. We're watching this like
I know this match is epic though. Like I'm actually like I'm
is
sports
it epic?
entertained
It's
by this.
epic and
we're just roasting it.
stupidity.
It's just hilarious. It's just
Yeah.
meaningless nothing, you know, it's meaningless.
Okay, so I'm at the point where Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy are looking at each other for the battle of the Notans.
There's another CMLL guy coming out. I'm like a few minutes ahead of you, I think. You're on the pirate ship, right?
Yes. Arg, be matey.
I was trying to, I won't lie, I was trying to do that, and then I was like, fuck it, let me just run out of the room and get everything set up properly. Yeah, I was running. I started the show
You're
a
the
little
host.
early.
You're supposed to have everything set up properly. I'm just a guest here.
Yeah, exactly. But here's this guy who I don't know, Hey Chero from CMLL.
Oh, see?
Yeah, glad you're here, bud. Yeah, everyone gets a job. Oh, NXT got Ethan Page.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring in everybody. Oh, TNA, the Forbidden Door. I'm just gonna bring in everyone from all over the world. Tony just sent private.
Oh my
planes
God!
to every continent in the fucking planet to. I need everyone's best wrestlers.
Who is this fucking guy who's dressed like Demolition Smash?
Fucking. Oh man. This shit is great, dude. This is, do you know what this reminds me of? Like WWF in the early fucking 90s when everyone had
the opening match. The opening match, not the goddamn main event.
Yeah, it's like to warm the crowd up before the fucking, but it's like modern for 2024 with Leo Rush doing flips and shit. You know what I mean?
What the hell was that, Orange Cassidy?
Bro, it's just, if a guy who doesn't work for if someone who doesn't work for AEW wins this shit, I'll laugh so hard.
How dare you think that Will Ospreay is going to lose this match?
Sin Cara Botch Club. Oh man, that was a good move though. He recovered nicely. I think Sin Cara, my conspiracy theory, I'll hit the X-Files. He was phoning it in WWE. He was being whack.
Leo Rush.
I'm not shitting on him, but he was being whack and just didn't want to work because how the fuck can he come here and do this shit? I like this match. Like, it's just a spot fest. Everyone hitting moves. Like, if I went to an indie show, if I was in the building and saw this, I'd be drunk, yelling, popping for all this shit, just marking out because it's like Jay White and shit. But
I know you would, little frat boy.
Yeah. Hey, now I'm never. I'm not a frat boy. Okay, I've never.
Yeah, you're
never been in a goddamn frat.
Orbiter.
Yeah. No, definitely not, dude. I never took the college route. I'm a self-taught, self-made man.
Okay, well, there you have it.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
never went the college route, dude. I wasn't a school guy. I was very much get out there and get it, while you can. And
Fuck
if you
them
can,
student loans, you know what I mean?
100%. Fuck all that. You know what I mean? The hell with all that. My girl's still dealing with all that shit. It's like, goddamn, you know what I mean?
Hey, yo, I've got a friend who was.
Man, that was crazy.
I don't
Sorry,
want to.
go
I
ahead.
don't want to say the amount, but he's just now paying it off. He's got like 10 grand left, but he is in his mid-40s. Like, what the fuck?
Osprey won. He's winning everything. So was that the
You
last
didn't know
guy?
that?
Like, were they like, oh, this is officially the last entrance? Sorry, I just spoiled it for you.
No, that's all right. I knew he was going to win. I mean, goddamn, what do you think? They're
So
not
he's
going to put Howdy
international
Doody
champ.
as a win for this thing?
So he gets a world title shot at Moxley at Forbidden Door. Do you think he wins? Do you think Mox puts him over?
Yes, of course.
And then
What do you
Osprey.
think that Osprey is going to serve a loss all the way up until fucking All In? Hell no.
I love how he wins the international championship. Or does he get a shot at Swerve? So wait, are they just going to take the belt off Swerve right away? No, he gets a shot at Swerve. Oh my God. They're going to hot shot put the belt on fucking Osprey.
No, they're not.
This soon at Forbidden.
I'm calling it right now. They're not going to do that.
So
it's going to be a fuck finish. It's going to be a fuck finish.
And then Osprey finally wins it at All In Wembley, right? Because it's right around the corner. Like, they have to be saving it for that, right?
Wow, they are bringing in Swerve. We're 5 minutes overrun. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Dude, I'm just saying. John JID says, I've watched a shoot interview with the second Sin Cara talking about Mystico, and he said he was a problem and didn't want to wrestle American style. Yeah, dude, exactly. That's the biggest problem. Now, he did great here, but my whole thing is like, how come he can come into AEW and do all that shit and wrestle all these guys, and do spots with New Japan and AEW guys, but he couldn't work fucking Rey Mysterio in WWE, Dolph Ziggler, like some of the best workers in the fucking world. Thank you so much, John JID, for the super chat. I will give you an air horn for that. Make sure if you're just tuning in, you hit the like button or hit the subscribe. We're gonna polish our flutes here and get into Dave Meltzer's dumb moment of the day of the week. But quickly, let's talk about Dynamite here. So
can I just address that for 1 second?
Yeah,
we have to understand we're normal people. Wrestlers are goofballs. They're goofballs to begin with.
They are carnies.
And so they're not thinking when they're doing their profession. They're just not thinkers. If they were thinkers, they'd have a little bit of creative control and they'd be, bringing in some people. But that's all.
And so do you think that we're getting Osprey? So Osprey's going to beat Swerve right away, or it's a fuck finish and then they go to All In Wembley and that's where he finally wins the title? What's your prediction on that?
Swerve wins the first. This is how I would book it. Swerve wins the first match. But now here again, if you want Swerve to be a heel in this whole endeavor, now's the time to make him heel. Make them win, pulling the trunks or some other fuck finish or whatever. You can separate yourself from not Prince Nana, like, Prince Nana goes, what the fuck are you doing? And you can push him to the curb or whatever and become a full-fledged heel and win the match and do some dastardly shit leading up to All In, so that you got a raucous crowd wanting to see this Negro get beat in front of his home, in front of the people here. Well I mean, what? I thought this was free speech out here. I mean,
it is, bro. Come on, let's go.
But yeah, I mean, that's what you do in front of all the other brubs and governors.
The brubs and here, I'll give you a brub just for the brubs and governors. So I'm just super confused. I don't know. I think Tony could. This is the point I was going to make. It's hilarious how fucking Osprey wins the international title, and then the narrative instantly at the press conference and everything is like, oh, so when are you going to go defend that belt in Rev Pro or New Japan? And then I don't know. I thought he was getting a shot at the IWGP title, but it's funny that they just already, like, he had to finish up his dates so he could officially join AEW, and then they're just already asking when he's going to go leave AEW again. It's like, you guys are fucking dummies, man. Drives me crazy. Yeah. But dude, I don't know. Hopefully they don't just hotshot book it off of Swerve already. That would be crazy, man. That would be absolutely insane. But guys, we have stuff.
I got B Sarah real mad at me. She said,
"Oh, who's are people mad at you?"
Did he just say? Yeah, I guess so. Did he just say Negro? What the fuck? Awful, chill, bruh. Come on, guys.
Guys,
give me a break.
Awful.
I'm black.
Do you need to explain, your ethnicity to these people? Like, come on, man. Fucking chill, dude.
Would you prefer I use the other word? I know there's some. I mean, come on, goddamn. And then they're going to be people like, well, why didn't you use it? Why not use it in the first place? Listen, because I want to use it. Okay, everybody, chill out.
Yeah, just chill. He's just being funny, dude. It's all good. But yeah. Chat, you guys are crushing it. Everybody, go hit like if you're just tuning into the show.
Yeah, I love you, chat.
We love you guys. And everybody hit the like. We're at 124, but there's like 224 of you watching. So let's get those likes up to like 150, 200 if you guys don't mind, even if you're haters. But we're about to play our flutes. And Awful, if I can just steal a little bit more of your time, my good friend. We watched Dynamite together. We watched so many of these shows, but I want to talk about Dave Meltzer. Are you going to stick around and join me for that?
I'll stick around. This Negro will stick around.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, man.
Emotional damage.
So here it's time. Everybody get your flutes in the chat, because it is time for everybody's favorite moment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week. I'm gonna get that shit remixed or something, Dave Meltzer we talked about earlier in the show, how, this stuff is being booked on the fly, and this stuff is being, and you guys know that just Figure 4 Online, Brian Alvarez, Dave Meltzer, Wrestling Observer, all gets lumped into this segment if this is your first time tuning into it. So Tony Khan reportedly, the Wrestling Observer said before, he's right, or Brian Alvarez said more specifically, he's changing these scripts on the fly. Like, that's what they're saying. They're admitting it. Tony Khan reportedly changed the script for AEW Double or Nothing, leaving most people with no idea what they were doing until an hour or so before the show. It legitimately is more like 2019 WWE than it is 2019 AEW. Whatever the fuck that means. Tony switched the script on yesterday's pay-per-view multiple times during the afternoon. Most people, not just the wrestlers, have no idea what they're doing until the day of the show, and sometimes not until an hour or so before the show. People are flown to towns and given nothing to do. Others are begged the day before the show to please get to the town so they can do something last minute. The boys? Oh, the boys? Oh, you mean they were making shit? Oh, no, you mean I talked to them and I fucking told you guys exactly what Brian Alvarez is saying now? He knows what he wants to do for pay-per-views, although this often changes. But as far as week-to-week TV, everything is booked show to show. It's great. It's Tony McCon, dude. He's spread too thin. He's booking like shit. He doesn't know how to book this stuff. For most people, Tony Khan's incredibly difficult to get a hold of. Like, what the fuck? Oh, no, this isn't like other wrestling companies. In some ways, it legitimately is more like 2019 WWE than it is 2019 AEW, where he was much easier to get a hold of. He had a very complex long-term storytelling.
That's bullshit.
That's bullshit, yeah. Many people had a good idea of what they were doing and when things were going. And where things were going. And often most of the following week's entire Dynamite card was booked and announced before the previous week's Dynamite had even ended. Remember when Excalibur would run down 24 matches in 30 seconds for the following week? It's night and day, the changes, and people who work for the company in all roles for the wrestlers, from the wrestlers to the office, talk about it all the time. Yeah, we've been talking about it all the time, Brian. Way to catch up, Brian. Jeepers, man.
Why do you think they do that, Phil? Why do you think they come up like at least like 6 months to 1 year late on a lot of these things that a lot of people were saying? What do you think that could be attributed to?
Because they like sucking on the teat. They're all just sucking on the teat. And then when it's not going their way, or when
how about when it's too obvious?
They see it, well, because they see the writing on the wall and they're trying to save face while they can. That's what I truly believe. They're just like, okay, we have to start being critical because, and last week we covered how, or on the weekend, we covered how Tony Khan pulled like women's wrestlers off of like Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer's Friends indie show. Like a contributor to Observer. He runs like indie dates, and AEW pulled a bunch of women off of the show, and then there were like only 4 women on the fucking pay-per-view, so who knows why they were doing that. And Meltzer said what, pointed that out, which was shout him out for that. But yeah, I just think they're starting to just call it out, because I think they realize like, okay, we're less and less credible every single time we defend this shit. And I think they're seeing people like me blow up in the space. Maybe not me specifically, but people like me who are keeping it fucking a bean with you people about it. Like, I want to like AEW. I was sports entertained by that main event. It was whatever. Like, if that's one match in the middle of like a bunch of brilliant stories, okay, I'll give you that one. You know, give me some flippy indie. Sometimes I just like flippy indie shit too. But it's definitely like, you know, I'm going to be critical of it as well and laugh at it and make jokes. And I don't know, these people want to be taken, like, they want to be opinion people, but then they want to be news people. And you really can't do both. You really can't. You either show people the news and laugh about it and make fun of it and just give your opinion, or you're reporting the news and you're digging it up and you're handing it out and you're leaking it and you're all of that sort of shit. You got to pick a lane. And these guys just, I don't know, man. I just think they're.
But what these guys want to be known for, these guys want to be known for scoops
and just being right about shit. That's
right.
All they care
Now,
about.
here's the problem that these guys are facing. All of them is that this industry survives on the fact that they don't give you anything. They make you guess. They keep you guess. They keep you wanting. And so what makes you think that you guys are going to gain any more credibility than you already have lost by the simple fact that you're going to you're going to give away the script of the next program, or you've got somebody's contract figured out? No, my friend. This is all speculation, from Cultaholics to fucking Fightful to Wrestling Observer. Until, for example, just like the deal, Evil Dose, Wrestling Observer, Dave Meltzer, Awful Wrestling. Until we see something that says they got a deal or they didn't get a deal, everything that we say is speculation. I don't know how you can thrive as a business just based on speculation. You're not quite the sun yet. You're not quite, the onion yet. So if you're going to pick a lane in being like some sort of news outlet for professional goddamn wrestling, you're going to have to make sure that you toe a fine line between like, you're just propping up the entire industry. You're not taking any sides. You're just basing the news based on news, and you're not trying to scoop anything. Or the only way you can scoop somebody is if you interview somebody right after an incident, an event, a monumental, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, that's all there is to it. Other than that, trying to get the scoop on things, or trying to be like, oh, we got that prediction right. Big fucking deal. It's not worth my $12.
Yep. No doubt. And so this is part's hilarious to me. I brought it up earlier in the show. So there was the story broke that Tony Khan was disappointed in WBD's deal. Well, Brian Alvarez and Wrestling Observer, they come out with a report saying AEW has denied that Tony Khan was disappointed by the first offer from WBD. However, Brian Alvarez confirms he was, quote, unhappy. What the fuck? Come on, Awful. Like, oh no, he wasn't
downtrodden,
disappointed, but he was unhappy with the like, come on, man. It's just so stupid. So this is the quote. I've talked to a lot of different people about this. This is my understanding, and we've talked about this on the show. I've been talking about this for a long time. Tony would obviously like a lucrative deal, but my understanding is what he wants is a package deal that includes many different things. So Dose is right about that. No, because that's what he's been saying. Tony wants the package thing, and WBD doesn't want that shit. So Anyways, though,
what does he mean by the package thing?
Like he wants fucking like Tony's trying to give WBD Ring of Honor, Collision, Rampage, Dynamite, and they're sitting there going, we don't want any of that shit.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
And guys, I am watching the Edmonton Dallas Stars game. Oilers are up 4-2 in the second. Let's hope they don't choke and fuck up again.
What is this? The finals, Phil?
It is the Western Conference Finals, and I missed a good chunk of this game
take on
watching
forever.
Dynamite for you guys. So, chat, you better love me, okay? You guys better show me lots of love this week. Just kidding. But no. It's I'd probably jinxed them last game. Anyways, though. So, he wants a renewal for the television, and it would would like some sort of pay-per-view aspect to this, right? So he's trying to cut them in on the pay-per-view deals. Like he wants a package deal, like, oh, well, look at our pay-per-views, look at our Ring of Honor, look at our Ring of Honor pay-per-views, look at our Collision show. And WBD's like, dude, we want Dynamite and your pay-per-views. That's what we're interested in. So whatever the deal with Max would be. Then he wants something involving the AEW TV library. So he's trying to lump in the library on top of it. I've been told he wants something that involves all of these different things. What I was also told is that the original offer did not include all of these things, and he was unhappy with the offer because he wanted everything. So he wasn't disappointed. He was unhappy, and a lot of these things aren't included. So Evil Dose is right about that whole thing that he's talking shit about. I'm sorry. I don't care if it makes people mad. I'm sorry, but it's the goddamn truth. Dose was saying the same shit. I know a lot of people say similar shit, but I mean, yeah, he wants the package deal. Fucking, they don't want the package deal. They're like, we'll take Dynamite if it continues to get sort of the same viewership, sure, and then we'll take fucking we'll cut in on the pay-per-views, put them on Max. You know what I mean? But like Peacock, but other than that, like we're not interested. So Derek Hans for $10. Wow, thank you so much, bro. The same exact people who bitch and complain about wrestling being predictable are the same people who comb dirt sheets looking for insider information. Exactly. And look at what happened, Derek Hans, in NXT last night, where Ethan Page showed up, Jordan Gray showed up. It's good that none of these marks knew and leaked that shit.
Precisely.
Returns, Punk, they don't know any of that shit. But when it comes to AEW, they always know because they love to be told this stuff. And yeah, sorry, what were you going to say, Awful?
No, I wholeheartedly agree with Derek there.
And so Meltzer just basically Tony was unhappy, and he's confirming though, like, yeah, he wants to lump all this shit together and they're not interested in that. And Dose is just saying, look, man, they set a number, it's what it is. They fucking are gonna walk away if Tony doesn't agree with whatever they're giving him. Like, they're not budging. He even brought in other lawyers. It's not working. They don't want any part of it. So I don't know, man. He's going to look like an idiot for turning down that. Like, he turned down that CW Ring of Honor deal thinking he was going to group it with AEW and get a better thing with WBD. And it just don't goddamn work that way. I forgot also, yeah, Jake Hager left AEW as well. I forgot to bring that up. But I'm
sorry to interrupt, but I do want to say this. From all these guys, Sapp, Meltzer, Alvarez, you name them, the one thing that these guys do not have that guys like you and Marv and a lot of other wrestling fans have is the simple fact that they're not entertaining. They don't got no ha-has behind. They're not humorous when they say their shit. Why are you trying to be like Tom goddamn Brokaw? This is a silly ass profession. Stop trying to be goddamn Ted Koppel or Anderson Cooper or Wolf Blitzer and show a little bit of your humanity, I guess, your sense of humor. But that's the other thing. A lot of these guys don't have a good sense of humor. And when they do show it, they just fucking suck. You're not clever. You're not witty. Go back to the fucking drawing board with that bullshit.
Yeah, man. And I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. And here's the other thing. Even a guy like Ariel Helwani, he's clever and witty and funny, and he reports real fucking news. And that's why the MMA Hour is such a hit in the MMA world. And it's like Wrestling Observer It's not a hit throughout. Like, everybody can agree whether you like Ariel or not. It's like, okay, his show adds value. Whether you like Dave or not, everyone agrees that his shit just adds no value. You know what I mean? Maybe the people who listen to it don't agree.
No, have you not looked at the comment sections that he's gotten? Like, there are so many. He's got a little fucking fan base that will go rock with him through thick and thin. But the problem is it's too analytical. And there are some people that come to me and are just like, "Boy, you spend a lot of time dealing with the death of AEW." Blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, no, I don't. Why don't you point that same finger to guys like Dave Meltzer or Brandon Thurston who do this shit 24/7? And it's just like, what are you getting out of this? What's the agenda here? Especially when it's obvious that you're caping for one fucking company over the other one. Like, what are you doing? You're not going to be too long for this world as a business if you keep doing that bullshit, because people are going to see right through that shit. Just play. If you're going to play it straight, don't try to be so nerdy and analytical. Like, okay, because believe it or not, folks, WrestleNomics themselves, when it comes to AEW, doesn't have all the facts there. It doesn't have all the numbers there. He himself is doing a goddamn guessing game. That's why you'll never see me go like, well, I think you're going to get this. I think no. My whole thing is just like, they're not getting a deal, and that's the end of that. I don't care what kind of number you throw at me. They're not going to get one. So
I maintain they're going to get one. And then if you want to talk numbers,
you're retarded.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I am kind of, dude.
No, I'm sure.
I think I have to be to do this show. Come on, dude. I jump on here and spurg out for 6.5 hours. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So Dave Meltzer continues on AEW. Speaking of redacted, as I try and use.
I'm sorry, redacted.
No, bro, you do your own goddamn thing.
people.
YouTube overlords, it's okay. They love me. We'll hopefully. No, just kidding. We're going to Patreon with some of this stuff too, because we got to. But the link's below if you guys ever check that out. Anyway, AEW's future in many ways, future as far as profitability goes, or level of profitability, is completely dependent upon this. Like, see, Dave is even just doom and glooming in himself, going, yo, the whole profitability of the company depends on this. And he's the one who put this in everyone's minds that it's like make or break for this deal with them. You know what I'm saying? And it's so funny how they're not getting the money. Everybody predicted it. Dave's wrong. He's the all-seeing fucking eye of pro wrestling, according to him. And that is according to him. Oh, the stars are just his opinions. No, bitch. He says they're objective fact. That's what he says. So anyways, Dave goes on and says, I mean, that is going to be their key revenue stream. Can they increase attendance? I mean, they haven't, but I mean, could they if they get hot? Sure, but that's minor for everyone right now. The better the television deal, the more they can reasonably afford to bid on wrestlers. See? Why is that your mentality? Oh, we need to bid on more wrestlers. That's never worked yet. That hasn't worked yet for you. No one's going to turn it around until you start running house shows, you start training and developing your own fucking stars, and you get Tony Khan out of the creative and he stops listening to you, Dave. They could sign bigger name wrestlers when contracts are up. Who's a bigger name than Edge, Mercedes Moné, Page, who had a fucking movie by The Rock made about her? Like, who else is bigger? Who's going to come in and do anything? They had fucking CM Punk and they ran him out of the company. They have Daniel Bryan, who had a whole fucking WrestleMania built around him, and they fucking fumbled the bag there too. So who's going to come in, Dave? Like, Jesus Christ, the New Day, Roman Reigns is going to come sign? Like, what the fuck? Sure, but that's minor for everyone. Oh, sorry. Sign more stars. They'll be around, but it would be harder to get as many top wrestlers to come over if the deal comes in low. So according to Meltzer, Tony's whole game plan here is just sign top wrestlers from WWE, and then it'll explode our company. That's never worked. There very clearly is significant negotiations going on, and WBD does want to keep the programming. I don't think there is a chance that no one is going to want the show. I mean, I know there's people who are wanting to hear that nobody wants the show. He failed. Now what's he going to do? I don't think that's going to happen. You awful. Dave's calling you out. But as far as where it ends up, who would be interested? There's a lot of stations out there, and it's a highly rated show. But the question is it worth to a station more than $125 million a year? Dave, where are you getting this number? You just which to me is the key figure. I think if you're at $110 million, they'd break even or be profitable. dude, they lost 150 million last year, according to WrestleNomics and shit. Maybe even a little lower, but 125 million is healthy profits. If it's 110 million and they gave up the pay-per-view somehow, it's not a great deal. Dave, they will not even get 100 million for this shit. And you are fucking throwing these numbers around that you're making up out of thin air.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're telling people that these made up thin air numbers is what the entirety of AEW is riding on. And that's why
my theory is holding up a little bit more weight than it did yesterday in summarizing that and saying that Dave Meltzer is not writing for today. He's writing for post-apocalyptic America when there is no electricity, there are no TVs, and his shit will be in print somehow. The foreign guard who will be running the states will be reading the Wrestling Observer newsletter and will be reading about this AEW that used to be this hot fire product. And for some various reason, the evil overlords of American dictatorship beat out AEW, and now they're out of business.
Yeah, man. I agree with you on that fully. And well, for sure, dude. I mean, you're just spitting. I mean, what are we gonna? The question is, so Dave's making up numbers, and these numbers are like. The problem is that he's galvanizing people, just sort of like they're. Just sort of not really on what you were saying there, but just what I was saying before. It's like he's galvanizing these people to fucking, they're going to think that if they don't do this, it's not a success either. Like people who might be like anti-AEW as well. Like he doesn't understand how this is just backfiring at AEW's face. And every time I do this segment, I start bumble fucking my way around too. Cause Dave it's so hard to wrap my head around how he doesn't get how the way he does this just hurts fucking AEW, man. It doesn't help them when you're just making these numbers up and doing this. According to Dave Meltzer,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, at Meltzer said what goes on to say, according to Dave Meltzer, AEW sources have told him that the first offer was not disappointing to Tony Khan. After the reporting came out, it was pointed out by some online that Baloney is longtime friends with WWE CEO Nick Khan, I guess. So the guy who is saying, so Meltzer's refuting Baloney's report that Tony Khan was upset or disappointed, and said no, he wasn't disappointed, he was unhappy, and and then pointed out that Baloney's friends with Nick Khan, of CEO of WWE. So therefore, Dave took
what
it
was I
upon
talking
himself,
about earlier? Networking, connections, people who know other people.
And so Dave took it upon himself to just point out, oh no, he's with the Fed bad. Tony wasn't disappointed, he was unhappy. It's like, you guys are fucking sick in the head. You know what I mean? Like this is lunacy. We're operating in Looneyville Dave time. So Meltzer said what puts it together here. I'm not going to read all of the newsletter. I'll get a fucking brain aneurysm. But yeah, it's Dave taking it upon himself. He's always throwing himself into other shit. He talks more about AEW, though, and then there's a couple things Dave had to say about WWE, but Dave talks about AEW and goes, and he's talking specifically about MJF and saying, or Double or Nothing, and says that they should have cut 2 matches from Double or Nothing. I say 3 or 4 matches from Double or Nothing and get rid of that pre-show shit or whatever, but Dave's saying they should have cut 2 matches from Double or Nothing. And Dave says, I think 2 less matches probably would have been a good idea, especially because that Max thing was real long. You mean the only thing that worked is what you're complaining about, Dave? You needed 4 more Osprey flips. The people went nuts for him as expected, but it's not like he had 20 minutes worth of material. Like, what did he have to say? Dave, he cut a solid promo, man. He basically
But it was too goddamn long.
He basically killed off the devil thing. Yeah, I know it was too long, but it was the most interesting thing on the goddamn show. So give me more of that. If there's anything I'm going to put over, it's that. So, but he basically killed off the devil thing. Yeah, no, Tony Khan did that when he fucking booked it the way he did, Dave. But yeah, he goes with Adam Cole and said that he signed, which everybody already knew. And the dirt sheets all confirmed what Phil Marks said a year ago on this fucking show, that he re-signed during that whole fake propaganda they spew to you guys about him no showing an event, and then Wardlow squashed him as punishment. He re-signed for millions of dollars and years then. But anyways, the promo was really, really good. But as it was going, I was like, it's going to be a long show. We don't need a 20-minute promo, which is true. Like, he should have saved half of that promo for this Dynamite, but instead they're like, no, he'll be here next week. Here's a bunch of luchadors versus Claudio in a gauntlet. Oh, man. But yeah, Dave is saying that he's being real about they need to cut matches out, and he's sort of shitting on MJF. I wonder why. What is that? You know what I mean? He's sort of it seems like Ospreay's his pet, and he's sort of just shitting on everyone else as of late. What say you, Awful?
I mean, the going word is that he's trying to regain credibility or hold on to the last vestiges of his credibility by touting Will Ospreay and putting all of his chips on Will Ospreay, saying that he's going to become he will become the world champion. It's painfully obvious to see. But I mean, that's not going to sustain Dave's credibility, because there's a million other things that he's been talking about that are just like, boy, that's bullshit. But again, I mean, he'd be taken a lot. Actually, he'd be taken a lot more serious if he were more comedic. That's just my, assessment of it. If he were a little bit more humorous instead of trying to be so goddamn serious all the time and picking from low-hanging retarded. I'm sorry, guys.
This guy keeps using.
I know.
YouTube's
I know.
They're gonna limit
stop having so many redacted takes.
Yeah. I'm redacted. No. Awful.
He would be better.
You do you, but yeah, redacted. That's the one. I got that from Brennan Schaub. Shout out the homeless cats in the chat. But okay, so Dave, though, he's critical of WWE. Awful. He's critical of them as well, as you can imagine.
Duh.
So they do this really cool tale of the tape here. So let's read this. Otis versus Big Bronson Reed. 5'10", 6 feet, 330, 330. 24-inch neck, 20-inch neck. 60.5-inch chest, 59-inch chest, 72-inch wingspan, 74-inch wingspan. Both men can bench press 600 pounds. Dave Meltzer has disputed the validity of WWE's claim that Otis and Bronson Reed can both bench press 600 pounds, as seen during the tale of the tape before their match on WWE Raw. Dave, why do you even waste time on your show? It's fucking pro wrestling. It's kayfabe. If he spent less time talking about this shit and worrying about this shit to find anything to be critical of WWE of, he could not fast forward through the matches like he admits he does. But Dave goes, they said they could both bench Tony Khan, 600
But why
pounds.
the fuck is that a topic of discussion with this guy?
It's so funny. It's like, I would never bring this up on my goddamn podcast. You know what I mean? This is crazy.
Geek.
So they're really strong guys, but 600-pound bench press, that's like Doug Furnace, Scott Norton. You know what I mean? You don't think?
Yeah. That really gets the girls hot, Dave, knowing that sort of information.
That's like a different level of strong. I know they're both good deadlifters.
Have you
been in the gym with them, Dave? Bronson Reed, a couple years ago, he had actually mentioned to me that he benched 460, which is a hell of a bench press. But when they say 600, he ain't benching 600 pounds. That's a different level. Dave knows. Dave is that's a whole different level of bench pressing. Fucking Dave, man. Oh my God. Who knows? It's fucking pro wrestling, dude. It's a work. Hey, Dave, you also know people can't fight with their hands in their pockets. And fucking Malachi Black's fucking miss doesn't really corrupt your soul and make you spooky.
Right. But he'll give that bullshit that, right? 4 stars.
He's like a kid.
Dummy. Yeah.
He's like a kid you dangle keys in front of, man. It's so goddamn funny to me. Oh my God. Shit. Okay, so then he talks about the women's matches from King and Queen of the Ring. So Dave Meltzer is going to put over the women's matches from Double or Nothing, of course. but he had to talk about the women's matches in King and Queen of the Ring, where there were as many women featured on this 6-match card, and more if you count the pre-show tag match. There was actually double than were featured on Double or Nothing, where Dave was getting all schmarmy with people about the amount of women on Double or Nothing. So anyways, Meltzer comments on the matches and says, the women's matches, I wouldn't even bother. None of them were good. It's like, bro, Nia Jax had the best finish of the whole card. She had one of the matches, my favorite match, I think, from the card. The crowd really helped the Becky Lynch match. They had a lot of issues. Dave, did they? But the crowd really helped them. And the other 2 women's matches, I thought below average for both of them. Like, why? What was, they did the fucking Yokozuna finish with Nia and Lyra. Like, what didn't you like about it, Dave? Like, I don't get it. Like, Nia didn't do a fucking moonsault to the outside. No one got fucking doomsday deviced from a tope over the top rope. You know what I mean? Like, why? What didn't? I just don't get it. Now, I'm not
there was
saying
no check in his mailbox. That's what's going on.
Yeah, and I'm not saying Nia Jax this was like the greatest match of all time, but it's like, God damn it, man, you're really gonna shit on this, and then he's gonna go ahead and put over fucking what? Like Thunder Rosa and Purrazzo, who were great workers, but like the crowd didn't give one singular fuck about that match. And this match had stories for the Queen of the Ring, and they did a great like it seemed like a Yokozuna type finish, man. I don't know your thoughts on Dave's comments there, and what did you think about the Saudi show and the women's matches, I guess, particularly?
I liked the Nia Jax, Lyra Valkyria. It was an okay match. Dave obviously is not getting paid by the WWE, so he's not going to think favorably of it. I'm not getting paid by the WWE. I thought the matches were good. It felt like a glorified house show where everybody, they probably got a pep talk. We're in Saudi Arabia. Let's keep this good. Let's keep it tight. Keep everybody safe. You can almost tell when the entire roster has been coached right before pay-per-view, because everybody just kind of brings it. And if you've ever played sports in high school or college or anything like that to that level, you can understand where that sort of mentality comes from. And you can kind of feel it in the air. Everybody wanted to bring their best. Whereas in AEW, there isn't that rah-rah, let's go out there and give them a fucking show. It's very individualistic. And
that's that. I love that you say that, because I try to highlight that, sorry, go ahead.
No. That's all I've got to say on that. I mean,
yeah, I just feel like there's more accountability to keep your body in shape and all of those. Like, look at Carl Anderson. He's just on NXT. He's fucking shredded right now. It's like, yeah.
Say what you will about the WWE locker room, how nice and polite, and they all play video games. I'm sure there's still a bit of shame that goes on in that company, which keeps you tight, which keeps you on your toes. It lets you know, like, you can't half-ass it when you're in this company. I'm sure there's that. It's just like, people in the chat, guys, at work, girls, at work, there's a certain level that you get to with people where you feel comfortable around them. And, when your shit's looking like it's not, when your position or your job is not up to snuff, they're going to make fun of you before they, take away some points or give you some points or fire you or suspend you or whatever. But you know how it goes. And I'm sure it's the same way in that industry too. In WWE, it's probably a little bit more tighter. Sure, they all like each other and all that, but there's still that whole energy of like, yeah, dude, that wasn't all that great. You might want to try a little bit better next time.
No, absolutely, man. And yeah, with that, guys, that was Dave Meltzer's dumb moment of the week. So here I got a new member, Headingite. Oh my goodness, thank you so much and welcome. And Plenty and Pixel Art for $5. Thank you so much. Quick pop in to say hi before I go back to slamming my face in calculus. You both rock. Well, Plenty, and thank you so much, man. And good luck on the calculus. I mean, not something I was ever into. What about you, Awful? You a numbers guy? Like you a numbers guy B, like Meltzer or Tony Khan? Oh, Awful's muted here. I don't know. Awful disappeared on me, guys. Plenty, and yeah, I'm not a calculus guy, but hey, man, good luck with that.
Oh,
and
I'm sorry. Yeah, I muted myself because I was
I was
eating.
like, you're
but
muted.
yeah, you got to be a numbers guy when you're doing your own business. You know what I mean? Like you can't be fucking around with numbers, unlike Tony Khan.
Yeah, unlike Tony. But what about calculus? That seems more advanced, is it not? I mean, I'm pretty good. The basics.
Yeah, just the basics. And after that, you don't really need anything. I'm not trying to build a rocket or anything.
Yeah. Maybe we should, and we could put one under fucking Tony Khan's ass. We get some good wrestling out of that goddamn company. Thank you so much, buddy, in pixel art. Awful.
Yeah. We endured, didn't we?
We endured it. We did it together again. I love doing these goddamn watch-alongs with you. Awful. Are you interested in like doing some like pre-recorded? First off, I want you on my pre-recorded PWT podcast so we can do like a more formal, like live. We're kind of just all over the place, chilling, whatever. A more formal pod. I haven't had you get on the regular show, so I want to do that one-on-one with you sooner than later. So we should.
You know what, Phil? I don't know if I like you that much. I'll have to think about it. We'll talk.
Okay, yeah. Well, you keep me up to date on that and just how you're feeling about it. And yeah, man, are you interested in doing some pre-recorded Patreon shit with me too for the good patrons and the good tribal chiefs?
Can we curse on there?
Dude, yeah, absolutely. The Patreon's going to be way more free. And you know what I mean? And
because I get a little bit more guttural when I'm on, when I know I'm not being restricted.
Spicy. Yeah, you can get a little more spicy, and
that's why I don't have a YouTube channel. Like, because I know they're just gonna bang me on the very first fucking video that I do. You know what I mean? Like, so fuck them.
Let me teach you the ways of the warrior, the wise ways of the warrior. It's hard for me too, bro. Trust me. But I have to catch myself a lot. But listen, also on the Patreon, no copyright strikes. They're much more lenient than YouTube about all of that sort of thing. So yeah, it'll be way more fun and different type of content. But why don't you tell, if you're interested in doing that, I'm going to DM you. Let's do some of that too. But why don't you tell the good folks where they can find you, what you have going on in your life, my good friend. And yeah, just plug your stuff.
AEW FUL Wrestling. I'm on Twitter. I'm on YouTube. No, I'm not. I'm lying. I just have a Twitter handle.
On YouTube in the PWT universe on PWT Live.
Right. No videos yet, but I'll work on it. And yeah, you can catch me every day, especially tomorrow because the ratings are gonna come out, and I've got quite the video for that one.
Yeah. I can't wait. Okay, thank you so much. And then of course, Toonie Talk Wrestling on Tuesdays. I will be there more frequently as the show commences as well as a regular. And I kept coming in late, but basketball season's over, so I will be there way more frequently at the start of the show, which I can't wait for because I always listen in. And guys, PWT podcast episode 64 is coming. I'm sorry it didn't come today. It should be uploaded Friday morning. And time cop. And then PWT live show Saturday night or day. Night. We'll do night again this week. And then regularly Tuesday again. So many of you tuned in, even right now. There's a shitload of you in here. And we were at over 200, and I think we hit like 220 or something like that. So Awful's a draw, proven draw. Thank you for being here.
Now we gotta talk contract negotiations.
We do, man. I'm telling you, man. The minute you want a pod and you want to, like, for real, I got the platform. People know you and they love you here, and you could bring in that cynical voice. I'm open to it, man. Let's talk about it. But hey, listen, PWT listeners, I appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. Please hit that like. Please hit subscribe. The replay for this show is over on @ProWrestleTimes. So if you're subscribed to Pro Wrestle Clips and this video ends and you're like, oh shit, I gotta catch the replay, and you notice it's members only, you go over to @ProWrestleTimes right after this show ends, and the replay is available over there. I love you guys so much. Conan, thanks for being here, and we'll catch you Saturday night. Peace.